Welcome to the POD the Pride of Detroit podcast is back for another week with Lions analysis, news, opinions, whatever you want to listen to that's Lions related. We got it right here on our weekly show. My name is Jeremy Reisman. I am filling in for Miko Scott, who is off having a great time with his family and signing paperwork and a whole bunch of adult stuff. And we are now in kind of the off-season abyss. People are taking time off. So I'm going to step up into the big boy chair here and try not to mess things up, try to go with the flow, and eventually hit you guys with the ad read while you're least expecting it. But before I continue to rattle off, let me introduce my co-host. With me, as always, as a co-host of the PODcast, also a senior editor of Pride of Detroit, and a co-host of First Bite. You can find him at Ryan_POD. It's Ryan Matthews. Ryan, how we doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I'm a man of many hats, as is everybody today. So
Sure.
I can't wait for your ad read. That was the first thought I had. When Miko's like, I'm on vacation, my first thought was not who's going to replace him, who's going to do what are we going to talk about? It was, how are the people going to grade Jeremy's ad read?
Yeah. You know what? It's the thing I'm looking forward to the least, not because I don't like shelling out unnamed brand because I can't say it yet.
Is this it right now?
I don't want to give away the juice here. But there's a lot of pressure on the ad read. It's a big moment of every podcast. Speaking other big moments of the podcast, hey, we got a new co-host for the show this week to fill in, I guess, my spot. Is that how it works?
Yeah, sure.
He speaks.
Oh no! Hey, I haven't introduced you yet. Quiet.
It doesn't matter. I don't play by the rules. I'm the boss.
Oh, okay. Whoa! What? A boss of what?
If I'm taking your role, you guys do what I say. This is the way it works now. I get to say stuff, and away we go. Let's go.
This is already bringing me back to the locker room, green room, whatever the call-in shows that we used to do with us three. The power struggles, the I don't know, the dynamics that are friendly but like also with like a twinge of like antagonism. I'm ready for it. He is the managing editor of Pride of Detroit. You may know him as The Machine, or you may follow him at Eric Schlitt on Twitter. It's Eric Schlitt, buddy. Welcome back.
Hey, I'm like most of the way back. So
yeah, you both are this is kind of your flu game, both of you, in a way.
Yeah.
Not literal flus, but fighting off little bugs. So if they sound a little more raspy or delirious, that one's probably going to happen. I think the delirium is going to come through loud and clear this week. But
oh yeah, I got too many meds to help to keep them under control.
All right. Enough yapping here. Let's get into the actual show this week. OTAs are over, minicamp is over, so we are kind of going to go position by position here and reorganize the depth chart a little bit, talk about the biggest takeaways from OTAs and minicamp, and just kind of do a full reset of what our perceptions are of the team, the starters, the depth, just the big storylines. And we'll start with quarterback, which is probably the least interesting of the group, to be completely honest. Nothing really to say about Jared Goff and how things have looked this offseason. Obviously, he's taking a big part in how the offense is being set up with Drew Petzing, but he never says anything interesting. And, there wasn't any like shocking things to see from minicamp and OTAs. I think some of the reserve stuff is at least a little interesting. I wrote down here, and this is my own observation, that Teddy Bridgewater just kind of looked meh in minicamp and OTAs. But I think a lot of people are pretty interested in Luke Altmaier. Maybe not a lot of people, but some people are interested in Luke Altmaier. And I'm curious as to your guys' thoughts on him, given some of the comments we've heard some of the coaches. The only like real observations I can offer is that like he's got a stronger arm than I'm used to seeing in a QB3 on this team. Like, I'm used to seeing the Kellen Moores of the world. So I don't know. Do you guys think you've heard anything from the coaches that would suggest that this team should consider carrying three quarterbacks?
Well, first and foremost, the statement you just made, is that Tim Boyle erasure, or is it speak to the fact that like you didn't have access during COVID and you couldn't see that strong arm? I guess I have a question back to you guys. Is all of this that's happening at quarterback, is it all a nothing burger and we just accept that Teddy Bridgewater is the veteran and he's going to be the number 2 guy? So then it just ends up becoming a discussion of, will the Lions keep a third quarterback? Like, is that just
That,
where we're at with this?
that's where I'm at.
Yeah, me too. I mean, there'll be buzz and people get excited because honestly, Teddy Bridgewater he looks his age a little bit out there. Like he looks like, I'm not going to doubt the benefit he brings to the team in terms of like all the intangible stuff, all the, Monday through Saturday stuff. I wouldn't be very comfortable he's out there, on Sunday, unless they're just running JMO reverses all drive.
Yeah, it's touchdown every time.
Good work.
And because of that, like, I do think when we get to training camp and like, the second team offense might struggle, and then Luke Altmaier comes in with a bunch of third stringers and lights things up. Like, I think there'll be fire there, but I think that will be mostly media and fan driven. I don't think the backup job is up for grabs.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like you said, it's the intangibles that you're paying your backup quarterback for in this scheme, and that's what Teddy has. It'd be nice to see Teddy work some magic with Altmaier and bring him along, help him develop, help him understand the game better, and get him into a position where when Teddy's age does eventually catch up to him, maybe as soon as next year, you have a guy in Altmaier that might be ready to go. I think that's the ideal plan. We'll see if Altmaier can do something about it though, right? Yeah. Like it was like a year ago, we were looking at the quarterback situation as, Hendon Hooker being a pretty solid number 2 and Kyle Allen being on the outside looking in. And then Kyle Allen has a couple of perfect games in the preseason and he looks great. Hendon Hooker struggles and we see a change of the guard there. So I don't anticipate that happening because of who Teddy is, but I do think if Altmaier plays well enough, he could make it a conversation. I'm just not expecting it to be one.
Yeah, I think the most interesting things we're hearing out of Altmaier's camp or out of the team via Altmaier is, he's smart, he's picking up the offense pretty quickly, and I think the confidence is the thing that exudes the most. Like I feel like he's kind of got that thing where it's like borderline cockiness. Like he's coming in really believing in himself. And listen, you have to have at least a little bit of that to succeed, I think, in the NFL. You have to worry about it becoming arrogance, but I don't know him well enough to know if he's rubbing up against that necessarily. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think it's so highly unlikely that a UDFA rookie can come in there and win the backup job. But again, to me, it's a matter of can he do enough to show that they are fearful of losing him on waivers.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think all of us are in agreement that like 100% a UDFA is not going to unseat a veteran who has the connections like Teddy Bridgewater does to this organization and Dan Campbell. And effectively, he's an extra coach, right? And sure. Jeremy, when you say he looks meh, it's like, okay, meh, but in the sense that in a pinch, they probably want to trust a guy like Teddy Bridgewater rather than a guy like Luke Altmaier who might try to rip a ball in between a safety and a corner in cover 2. You know what I mean? Like,
right. So
I think that's kind of where we're at. But Eric, what else do you have to say?
No, I was just going to say, yeah, I think 2 gloves is a gamer. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have to look good in practice for me in order for him to, still be considered the QB2.
And to Ryan's point, a lot of time what you're looking for in that backup position is don't lose the game. Right?
Yep.
Just go in there and don't lose. And I would imagine, like you said, a UDFA rookie is much more likely to make a back-breaking mental mistake than a guy who's been in the league for over a decade. All right, let's move to running back, where I think the storyline of maybe not camp, but certainly of the position is Gibbs is now in line to become the workhorse back. Dan Campbell said it outright. I feel like we both of you guys have kind of offered your opinion on that on our respective shows, so we can kind of push through that unless you have something you want to say on it.
I think just like the reminder that I felt like Gibbs already kind of got the workhorse share last season. And maybe that's a little bit of why maybe Montgomery was seeking other opportunities elsewhere. And if he's the workhorse back, though, I think, Jeremy, you're going to lead to maybe the most interesting question is they have a super athletic guy who just still needs to learn the ins and outs and the intricacies of the position a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, lead this right to Eric probably, but yeah, I think some of the comments from Dan Campbell on Vaki was kind of interesting. I mean, not certainly eye opening, because we've all seen that Vaki hasn't had a lot of time to work on offense. He hasn't had a lot of reps. What does he have, like 3 career carries or something like that? I don't think he has more than 10 career touches through a couple seasons here. So, when he was asked about Vaki, he said, like, listen, this is one of the most athletic guys we have on the team, but he's still a newbie when it comes to the running back position. And, I think there were some people, and I'm legitimately not pointing at Eric for this, because I don't think he's ever said it. There were some people that were wondering if he could overtake the RB2 spot this year. And I think that probably dumped a little bit of cold water on him. But, when that quote hit the airwaves, so to speak, I saw a lot of people express some disappointment, call it a wasted pick, things like that. So I'm just going to throw it to Eric and tell you guys why it's not a wasted pick, even if it takes until year 3, year 4 for Vaki to get his running back reps in.
Yeah, we have been spoiled in Detroit with day 3 picks in a lot of ways. You uncover gems like St. Brown and Derek Barnes and guys that come in and earn starting roles. And if anybody, falls short of that, we're very quick to label them as not good enough, or they have to do more. And that's just not, I think, realistic for most players that get picked on day 3. It's a hard road, and you get put into kind of a box that you have to really master. And then once you are able to master those elements of your game, then you can expand out from there. And Vaki was drafted to be a rookie special teamer, and I thought he excelled at that. And the expectation was for him to expand his running back prowess as a sophomore. Couple of freak injuries, couldn't get his hamstring right, then breaks his thumb. Like, it's a bad circumstance that happens in the NFL. And so he's in a spot now where I think the expectations are there, and maybe even a little bit higher, because he's spent even more time in the offense, learning the system, getting those practice reps and whatnot. So he, in my mind, should be the RB3 going into this into training camp. And I think it's a tall order to expect him to be RB2, because of what Pacheco brings, a totally different style of running. But Vaki is a guy who can absolutely take on a specialty role. If we go back to his rookie season, we look at his preseason, we saw how he did against like the Giants, that 2-minute drill where he caught like 5 passes in 2 minutes or whatever it was, something ridiculous like that. You can see there's where the path is. You can see the decisiveness. The athleticism is there, and that shows up. Even if you haven't seen it on the offensive side of the ball, a guy who can go from safety to running back to special team, like the guy who can do those things is going to be athletic if you can do them at an NFL level, which he can. And so I think we need to be pump the brakes a little bit on the, Vaki needs to prove it or else finger wagging that I've seen on social media lately. And just realize that he's probably going to be, or expected to be, RB3. Now, if he falls short of that, then he's up for criticism. But I don't think anything he's done up until this point has, warranted any of that finger wagging that we've seen, like I said.
No. And I mean, it's certainly at least a little bit of a disappointment that he hasn't developed as much as he has, but it's more of an opportunity thing than he's not good, right? It's the injury stuff. It's being behind a 1-2 punch that why would you put Vaki out there when you've had Gibbs and Montgomery this entire time? The other aspect of this room is the returnability of it. Because in the past, we've seen Jacob Saylors take on a pretty significant role as a kick returner last year. Vaki is a guy who's, when healthy, could fill that role, has kind of had at least a little bit of taste of it. But through OTs and minicamp, the guy amongst this group who has had the most return reps of everyone is actually Isaiah Pacheco, which I find very interesting, because I don't know how serious they're taking that, given that Gibbs is expected to kind of be the workhorse back. I'm not discounting the fact that Pacheco might be there to actually contend for a kick returning job.
Why not? You got the guy for a year. You got him on a relatively cheap deal. I think, Jeremy, maybe the only concern would be, well, he's your RB2. We just spent all this time talking about how Vaki still raw at the running back position.
Yeah.
If you happen to lose Gibbs, who do you turn to at that point? Is it Vaki? Is it going to be Sailors? Probably he's on the bubble for the roster, maybe, or more on the inside in rather than looking out. So like, I think that's the only concern, but therein lies. I think personally, you're splitting hairs at that point, right? Like if you're really upset that your backup running back is taking kickoff returns, all right, well, let's go further down the depth chart. Like if it's a matter, Eric, of Isaiah Pacheco is going to return kicks or it's going to be the wide receiver 4, okay, either or, right, in my opinion.
Yeah, the way I look at it is we're at a stage in the roster building process of this team where spots are at a premium, and you've kept 4 running backs in the past, 2 of them for special teams purposes. If Pacheco can do contribute on special teams and Vaki contributes on special teams, maybe you can push Reynolds to the practice squad, and now you have another spot for tight end 4, or a spot in the secondary, which seems to be where some hard cuts are going to come from. So I'm okay with it. He fits the style of what they want. People forget Pacheco's sneaky fast. Like he's this big bulldozing guy, and he has an awkward running style. But I'm okay with it. It's a bit of a gamble, but no more than, like you said, putting out Greg Dortch or Khalif Raymond, right, and guys that were our backups at a different position.
And listen, like the kickoff is safer, right? It's not the kickoff of old. Like
yeah.
It's pretty important. It's pretty important for field position, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, if they can figure something out more than what they did last year, and they seemed kind of okay with last year, which was just like, hey, just run as fast as you can straight, and get to the 30, 35 yard line, and we're happy with that. Like Tom Kennedy, you're killing it because you're just running straight.
Grant Stewart, all you need to do is hold on to the ball, buddy.
Right. Yeah. Couldn't end up doing that, apparently. All right, let's move to wide receiver. I want to start with just the Isaac Tesla hype a little bit, because I think this is a fan base that has been very hungry for some like very positive Isaac Tesla news. And I think for as much as you can get this time of year with like heavy walkthrough practices and not full speed, you only getting a little bit of 11 on 11 looks, I think you got as positive of news as you could possibly get. Like Scotty Montgomery's hyping this guy up, saying he's bigger and stronger than he was last year, and the brakes on his route are better, and Dan Campbell's over here saying like he looks like a veteran, he just slides right in, nothing phases this guy. Are you guys buying some Isaac Tesla hype right now? Are you? I've already seen some like fantasy footballers dig in and be like, this is my sleeper of the year. I think that's probably, I'm guessing, I'm going to guess your takes ahead of time, which is like, yeah, he's going to be a strong player, but there's only so many balls to go around. Fair?
Yeah. With me, I think he's a strong candidate. What we saw him from a developmental standpoint at the end of his rookie season, makes a lot of sense that he should come in and be the unquestioned number 3. I agree with you. He's probably, when everyone's healthy, 5th in the ball distribution order, right? We've got St. Brown and JMO and Sam Laporta and Gibbs, right? And then, Tesla's coming in probably 5th there. So, I'm with you on, I'm buying the hype on him, I guess is what I'm saying. I'm not necessarily buying the fantasy angle of it, because I think we've talked about this in the past. Expectations, I think, early for him are going to be, he catches 2 or 3 passes a game, but it's 30, 35 yards, that type of thing. And, he's going to make a wonderful catch and get a touchdown. And then maybe that expands to 4 or 5 passes as the season, progresses. But I think from a fantasy perspective, it's tamper things down, but he's going to play a significant role. The the addition or the having Tesla on the roster, in my opinion, offers them the ability to not have to force extra tight ends onto the roster. You know what I mean? To still be able to run some of those like 13 concepts. And he'll have a significant role in this offense, even if it's not something that shows up on the in the box score.
I, I'm buying it. I think that he is going to be a more prominent player for this offense. Just again, I think Eric, to your point, right? Addition by subtraction, you lose Khalif Raymond. You have a guy who played 40% of the offensive snaps last year. That is probably going to be trending. What do you guys think? 65, 70,
Yeah.
somewhere in that range. And if you're just getting more playing time, you're going to get more opportunities. You're going to get more targets, especially when you play on an offense, Jeremy, with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams and Sam Laporta and all this other eye candy. You can't double everybody. You can't bracket everybody. Isaac Tassau is going to get some one-on-one opportunities. And I think maybe what's interesting to take the conversation is not so much like, are you buying Isaac Tassau being a big part of this offense? It's like, are you do you know where it's going to fit? Right? Like last year, he played about 70% of his snaps out wide, right around like 30% of his snaps in the slot. I wonder what that usage is going to look like with Drew Petzing, because I think that's kind of an interesting wrinkle and unknown at this point.
Yeah. I think the first part of that is like, what personnels are they going to lean into? And, when they hired Drew Petzing, it was all like, oh, 12 and 13 personnel. He's going to use all these tight ends. But they've made all these investments in their wide receivers, right? They've extended both Amon-Ra and JMO, and they spent all the draft picks that they did on Tassau. Like, I think this team's going to be very heavy 11 personnel this year, like heavier than in years past. And at times, that was when they were the most successful in the past, right? Like when Josh Reynolds was at his peak, things were moving. Like, and so I think the goal has always been to make Isaac Tassau more of an outside receiver. I don't think they want to lose some of that size on the inside in some scenarios, but that was kind of why things got off to such a slow start with him, is like he played all those reps on the inside in college, and he has to get used to having corners in his face and having to work on his releases. And so I would expect, it to tilt more on the outside than it did last year, but but I'm with you. I think we're talking like 70% of the snaps is what we're looking for into Tassau this year. What do you think, Eric?
I actually am leaning. I agree with both of you on this. I do think his production is going to come from the outside, because when teams are going to try and play zone and take away the middle, he's going to get matched up with safeties, especially if he's running like 15-yard digs and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And that's an advantage for him. So I think a lot of his production is going to come from the outside, but at the same time, he, like almost every receiver on this roster, is an incredible blocker. Like and he benefits from being pushed into the slot there. And where you can best utilize him and his size is when you kick him inside and let him and do some blocks and stuff like that, right? And we saw that again, that kind of evolution near the last month of the season, where he was crashing down on DNs and like just smashing them. And that type of element is what you would normally get out of like a tight end 3 that you can now get out of a big slot, which is also your slash wide receiver X. So the versatility to play both of those positions, the versatility to block, to match up, make big catches down the field against, safeties. He brings a unique element that is very Josh Reynolds-esque, except elevated, right? Because of that ability to kick inside and block down. So the Tassau addition, or how Petzing is going to use him, is a very intriguing storyline that I want to follow, because if Petzing uses him in a way that I think he can, Tassau could be a very, very important piece in both the pass and the run game.
Let's stick with the wide receiver group, because I think things get very interesting once you get past Tassau. I think Greg Dortch is relatively safe. Nothing this spring changed my mind about him essentially being the wide receiver 4 by default there. Obviously, you have the Kendrick Law injury affect everyone else, and including Dortch. I don't know what your guys' outlook on the wide receiver 5 and potentially 6 positions. Obviously, the Lions are scouring the UFL for wide receivers. They signed 3 of them last week. We don't need to get into them necessarily until we see more of them. And, I don't know how realistic it is that those guys work their way into the conversation. Although, some of those guys have good special teams skills.
Wasn't it 4? Didn't they sign 4 of them last week? My goodness.
It was 4. It was initially 3, and then they added one more later in the week.
Crazy.
Based on my own personal observations, I didn't think it was a very impressive spring from Dominic Lovett. I saw him drop a couple passes, dropped a punt return during kind of like a end of practice skills competition type thing. I put it down here that Cedric Wilson is kind of my dark horse, the veteran that they signed, and part of it is like Montgomery. It's 2 things. One is like we're talking about like an experienced guy, a guy who's had played 10 plus games in like I don't know 8 straight seasons or something like that. It's not just like. I know he was added late in the offseason, but to me that wasn't just a let's pull this guy off his couch type of situation. And then when I hear from Scotty Montgomery, let me read the quote that he said about him, about signing Cedric Wilson. He says, quote, "Huge. It was huge for us at the time. We thought he's still a good player. We didn't realize how quickly he could pick up the playbook. He's 3-position functional. He has a large catch radius. He understands our route game. He has a certain level of smoothness to him that those outside guys have to have, And so, I mean, obviously, what he can do on offense as wide receiver 4 or 5 is not as important as what he can do on special teams, but he's got some special teams experience as well. So, I don't know. Do you guys have thoughts on what this wide receiver battle could look like come training camp? Because to me, I think it's pretty wide open, and I don't know. I haven't been impressed with Dominic Lovett, and I know Brad Holmes likes to, hold on to his draft picks and hope that they develop after time, but I'm a little bit underwhelmed by how he's performed, and I think that might open up an opportunity for one of the other guys.
Yeah. In 2024, New Orleans, he had 138 special team snaps, mostly on kick return, and in kick coverage. So again, versatility. Bottom of the depth chart, you're looking for that versatility that you guys both talked about. I find it fascinating though, like when Scotty Montgomery says he's a 3-position player, like X, Y, and Z. That guy can line up all over the place, and if he's picking up the playbook in a hurry, I know eventually we're going to talk about the defensive side of the ball, but what Scotty Montgomery had to say about Cedric Wilson made me also think about what was it Kelvin Shepard who had those things to say about Chuck Clark? Like just how headsy he was.
Yeah.
Or Deshae Townsend.
It was Jim O'Neill and Kelvin Shepard. They both
Kelvin Shepard
gushed over him. Yeah.
But just like picking up the playbook fast, knowing what to do, knowing where to be, how to line up, what to do. I think that you look at this. Lions are typically keeping 5 receivers in most cases.
It's been 6 the last couple of years.
Well, then I think Cedric Wilson is like more in than out. Like veteran, can do all the things. I agree, Jeremy. Like with Dominic Lovett being a later draft pick, especially seeing what happened with Hendon Hooker last year, like I don't think Brad Holmes is going to like err on the side of, well, I picked that guy for a reason.
For me, it's not as clean, and I'm not as high on Cedric Wilson as you guys are. If you want a veteran who can play 3 positions, I don't think you have to look much further than Tom Kennedy. He's a guy who's been with the team for the last 27 years, and so he's
changed your
very
tune on him.
he's very. But I mean, if that's what you're looking for,
sure,
right? Like if that's what you're looking for, a veteran. Now, Cedric's a different guy because he's mainly an outside guy, whereas Kennedy is mainly an inside who can kick outside.
Right.
But Kennedy knows everything that there needs to know in this offense. And so I'm also not going to be so quick to dismiss Lovett. These are struggles he had last year too. The hands showed up as a problem in training camp. It's not surprising to me that they're kind of showing up now. The question is, can he correct it? Because from a physical standpoint, he has the intangibles that they want. He has the speed, the stretch speed that they want. He has the ability to compete for a spot as a gunner. Those are big things for a guy who could be wide receiver 5. And so I believe they're going to give him every opportunity because of his intangibles. Being a draft pick certainly helps his cause in this regime, but I think he's going to get a lot of chances to prove himself. If I had to pick a sleeper, I think my sleeper is going to be Jackson Meeks, because Meeks is, again, a tremendous blocker. A lot of Isaac Teslaw in his game, and the fact that he's a contested catch guy. He can also block. They're literally cross training him at tight end to see what he can do there. He's not necessarily a natural slot like Teslaw is, but he is a natural X. And so if the cross training at tight end helps him become more comfortable working inside, all the better. And Meeks is a guy that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on as well. So the way I'm kind of viewing it is Dortch is your steely veteran that gets you your wide receiver 4 spot. Lovett's going to get a chance to win 5, but he's going to be pushed by a guy who has some versatility like Meeks. I could see both those guys making it, and I could see both those guys being challenged by veterans Wilson and Kennedy. But I think wide receiver 6, maybe even 5 and 6 are wide open at this stage.
I do wonder if this is Tom Kennedy's like Dan Skipper year of finally breaking through after on and off, not making the team, like he finally breaks through and makes a team.
The special team certainly helps.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. But let's bring Meeks over to the conversation about the tight ends a little bit. I do want to start there because it's an interesting guy. Like, he's not repping particularly high at wide receiver or tight end, and I know Dan Campbell has warned us not to read too much into that in the spring, and I try not to, but also like you have to at least read something into it because otherwise I'm wasting my time even being at practice. I'm not quite as high on Jackson Meeks, and I still think that's more of like a project thing than something that's ready to be unboxed. But at the same time, we all know like the blocking skills that he possesses is something that's valuable to this team, is something that could also be valuable on special teams if he can put that together. So I'm not going to discount him there, but I do kind of think the tight end 3 spot is wide open too. So, maybe if there's like a battle here between Meeks, is he our wide receiver 6 or our tight end 3? Like maybe he just fills one of those spots and it frees you up to do something somewhere else. Like I know they like Tyler Conklin.
I want to interject. So I want to understand your order.
Yeah.
So Laporta's number 1.
Yeah.
Are you sticking with Brock Wright as number 2 and then Conklin number 3? Okay.
Yes. And I don't want to I like Tyler Conklin. I think he was a savvy addition. I have him certainly penciled in for the tight end 3 position, and maybe a little bit this is out of sight, out of mind because he missed a couple of weeks in spring, but I mean, I don't think it's something that he has a stranglehold on. Like last year was really rough for him with the Chargers, right? It was a terrible year from, and maybe that's just he didn't fit with the new regime there. Whatever, it could be a million different things, or like maybe he's fallen off. I can't say I saw anything in the spring to make me think one way or the other, but you just have to wonder when a player has that rough of a season right now. What does that mean for the future of his career? Can he turn it around?
Well, especially when your coach is Jim Harbaugh, a noted tight end stan, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And so if you're a tight end struggling with Harbaugh, that certainly should cause some pause.
Yeah, and I guess I just think back to the end of last year. We've talked about it a ton, Jeremy, and I'm sure you and Eric talked about it as well. But just having a tight end on the roster who knew where to line up was really important. And I'm not saying that Jackson Meeks can't get caught up on the playbook or know where the tight end's supposed to line up, but the false starts and the illegal formations and everything that came with it, like I was just happy with Tyler Conklin from the standpoint that they have a veteran. He's going to be able to know what to do, and they're going to trust him to not have the offense shoot itself in the foot. So with him maybe presumably injured and dealing with what he's dealing with, and do we know he's the right guy for tight end 3? Like, we're having that discussion at this point. Makes me a little bit nervous for a Sam Laporta coming back from a back injury, albeit he looks good, but we've known Sam Laporta to be a guy who misses time at different points in the season and can get banged up a little bit. And Brock Wright, kind of the same, it's a physical position. And I was hoping that the Tyler Conklin thing put a cap on feeling better about the tight end position as a whole. Having that, third cap kind of loosened. Oh, okay. All right. Well, now I'm not feeling so great about the tight end position. Like, I feel good about it, but I don't feel as, comfy, cozy. I can pull my blanket over me and fall asleep good.
Yeah. And like I said, like nothing about how Tyler Conklin performed or how the coaches have said anything about it. They've been nothing but glowing of him. So I haven't lost faith in Tyler Conklin, but I think they're going to give everyone a shot to win. I mean, that's what they always say, right? Like, and they've followed up with it a lot of times. Like, you're going to have to go out there and win a position. And that's why it is at least a little bit interesting to me that Miles Kitselman is getting a lot of reps early in practice. And some of that is like, well, Sam Laporta's not there. Well, we're cross-training. We're cross-training guys, we love it. Conklin's out. Meeks is cross-training. Like, and everyone else in that room is super young, right? Like Zach Horton, Thomas Gordon, those dudes are still in their first couple of years in the league. They're still figuring things out. And so it's still interesting to me that Kitselman is repping ahead of those guys in some instances. And he was one of the more intriguing guys in this UDFA class. I'm not ready to say like, oh, I'm putting him on my first 53, but I think they like him a lot. And I do think that would make him a priority re-signing on the practice squad if it comes to it.
Yeah, multi-year starter in the SEC at Alabama and Tennessee, plays a lot of snaps in line. Like, there's a base to his game that translates to the NFL in the Lions scheme. So not surprising to me that he's probably in that tight end 4 spot. And he was my pick. If a UDFA was going to make the roster, he was my pick. So I think he's an interesting guy to keep tabs on as well.
You know what my pick is? To talk about next, the offensive line. Yeah, you thought it was going to be the ad read. It wasn't. Let's talk about the offensive line. Let's start with right tackle because it's maybe the most interesting position. I mean, left guard's pretty interesting too, but right guard, obviously, Blake Miller versus Larry Borum. During the spring, it was pretty much an even split both ways. Both guys got plenty of time with the ones. To me, that just tells me that eventually it's going to be Blake Miller's job, but sooner rather than later. But I'm curious if you guys maybe have a different read on it.
Go ahead, Eric.
No. Blake Miller is the better player. He, like, Larry Borum's been in the league a little while, but Blake Miller's been playing at a high level for a while in college at a top level school like Clemson. Like, he's ready to go out of the box. The rotation is fine. They may even start the first couple of days like that in training camp. But by the time fans are in the stands to watch the players in Allen Park, it's going to be the Blake Miller show.
Yeah, I think to me, like, the most telling thing is Larry Borum is also repping as a jumbo tight end. He's also repping at left tackle. You know where Blake Miller is repping? Right tackle.
Right tackle.
Just right tackle. Nothing else.
Yep, that's it.
So I think that's more. It's essentially a foregone conclusion at this point. But let's talk about left guard, the other battle here, because it was mostly Christian Mahogany this spring with the first team. Oh. But Eric, I asked Dan straight up, like, is this like a real competition? Like, we've seen mostly Christian Mahogany out there, and I know every position is up for grabs, and you have to go out there and win the job. But he's like, no, this is a legit competition. And I think the very next sentence was the most telling one after that. And he said, there's a reason we brought in Barch. And I think that's interesting because I think when people are talking about this left guard position, they're like, oh, well, it's either going to be Christian Mahogany or it's going to be Miles Frazier. Are you guys buying some Ben Barch, like actually being competition for this left guard starting job?
I'm buying it from one veteran standpoint. Two, he's only played left guard like the past few years in his career. Um, and you look at what Miles Frazier did, primarily a right guard, at his last 2 seasons at LSU. So maybe you see a clearer path to him playing a more natural fit at right guard behind Tate Ratledge. You have Ben Barch. I mean, I know we're going to get to Juice Scruggs, but like I'm buying the Ben Barch hype as in I think he's going to end up making the roster. Um, and that's just my inkling at this point. So I'm buying that, but I'm ultimately buying Christian Mahogany, hopefully at full health, ready to go. He's your left guard.
Yeah, I think Ben Barch will be good competition when he's healthy. So for like 3 games.
Dang,
Other than
dude.
that, I mean,
Saucy.
look, he played 6 games last year, 3 games the year before that, 5 games the year before that, 8 games the year before that. He hasn't. You have to go back to 23 before when he played 13 games, and the year before that he played 5. So he's a
That
good
would also
player.
explain why they basically have bubble wrap on him right now, even though they
Yes,
said that was mostly precautionary.
he's not a bad player, but
The greatest
he's,
ability.
he's about as healthy as Marcus Davenport is. Like, you know what I mean? He's just not a first round pick and play on the edge. So I would like Barch to push Mahogany because I think that would make Mahogany better. But I mean, my expectations are very low. I mean, as low as they were with Davenport in his ability to stay on the field. Like it just is what it is. Like his body just has a difficult time sustaining this level of competition. Remember, he was a small school guy, right? He had two good years in the league, and then he's been living on his ability and just athleticism and veteranness, the past 5 years. It's just I wish he could I wish he could stay more because it would be a great addition. It'd be great competition. And I'm not. And I like Frazier. I think Frazier has starting guard potential, but I also have been beating the drum of Mahogany fits Petsing's style, and I'm. It's going to take. I don't know. It's going to take me seeing him fall off in person before I start thinking Mahogany isn't going to be the starter.
I do want to talk about Juice Scruggs before we go on our break here because of the players who have spelled Christian Mahogany at left guard, he's one of them. He's also been almost exclusively the backup center. Whenever they're doing individual drills, that's the guy that Teddy Bridgewater is taking snaps from. He's also played some right guard in camp. And the more and more I hear players, coaches, other sources about Juice Scruggs, like that was not just a throw-in on the David Montgomery trade. Like that feels like a guy that they actually wanted, a guy that maybe they view as like, hey, this is our Graham Glasgow. This is our guy that like we want to make sure we have good, strong depth that we trust. Obviously, he's not going to unseat Cade Mays. I'm not suggesting that, but having a guy that they trust fill in all 3 of those spots is extremely valuable to have, so that you don't have to like go in and rely on a guy like Coyote Awashika or Michael Neese. Just throwing you a bone there, Eric. So
Okay. I'll take the Scruggs upgrade.
Yeah. I don't know if I have a question for you guys on this, but like, I guess it's like, is Scruggs a lock to you right now?
For me, I feel very confident in my top 10. I think I know who the top 10 are, and I think I could probably rank them.
Do it right now.
Well, Penei Sewell is number 1.
Okay.
That one was not hard.
Yeah.
You're 1 for 1.
Tate Ratledge is probably 2. Cade Mays is probably 3. I think Blake Miller has a chance to be 4. Mahogany can be 5. Larry Borum would be 6. If Barch was healthy, he'd be 7. Frazier would be 8. Scruggs would be 9, and Manu would be 10. And he's the guy on the chopping block because I don't know if they're going to keep 9 or 10.
That's why I think the Geo stuff, trying him out at guard that we talked about last week,
yeah.
Jeremy,
Oh, yeah.
is really where it comes down to to Eric's point, is Ben Bartch going to be healthy? Because if he is, then he's potentially maybe your seventh best offensive lineman. You keep him. Well, then that leaves, I mean, that means you have Ratledge, Bartch. I do think, to answer your question, that Scruggs is a lock for the fact that he's the sole guy repping behind Cade Mays.
Yeah.
But then you
Yep.
add on to the versatility. You're keeping Cade Mays, obviously. You have Tate Ratledge on the other side and Miles Frazier. Are you talking about 6 interior offensive linemen? And if you are, that's leaving you with 3 tackles. And I think that's fine in a sense, but like Manu has to outperform Ben Bartch, I think. I don't know if at guard, but like he's the guy that I would see jumping him. I don't see him jumping Scruggs because of the versatility.
Yep.
And do we think that Manu's a better player than Miles Frazier? Do we think that
No.
this Lions regime thinks that?
No.
Well, then it's Miles Frazier. So,
Right. Especially if Frazier has tackle capabilities in a pinch.
mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
You know what
Ben
else is
Bartch-
good in a pitch?
oh,
Pinch.
Oh.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. The Pride of Detroit podcast is brought to you by Righteous Felon Craft Jerky. It's the jerky that fuels the Pride of Detroit PODcast. Each 2-ounce bag of jerky has 16 to 20 grams of protein, and each stick has 8 grams. Trust me, it's good enough for your Detroit Lions. It's going to be good enough for you too. Righteous Felon is based in Westchester, Pennsylvania, and they use locally sourced all-natural black Angus beef and prides itself on superior... Screw you guys and your ratings. Superior quality, revolutionary branding, and unique flavors that go beyond the stereotypical jerky offering. You can go right now to righteousfelon.com. Use the promo code POD15. Get 15% off your order. It's the summer. Y'all need snacks. The kids are at home. They're starving. Give them a nice, healthy snack. righteousfelon.com. POD15 at the checkout to get 15% off. When we come back, we'll talk about the defense and everything we learned during OTAs and minicamp, and look at the depth chart there. Talk some Ahmed Hassanin, talk some safety stuff, and a whole bunch more when we come back right here on the Pride of Detroit PODcast. Oops, wrong one. Hold on. There we go.
I'll be honest. I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I think, Chat, I think you're wrong. And I'm not even sucking up to my boss because Eric's my boss. Eric's my boss for the next like 2 hours. So like,
You're right.
Hey, whatever. I'm just trying to show off my versatility here. I'm trying to be Juice Scruggs.
the juice Scruggs of this podcast. Eric, do you think that that's a compliment?
I mean, if that's how he wants to take it.
Hey, maybe the man is watching. All right, he's a person too.
I think no, hold on. I like Juice Scruggs, but Eric also just named him the
9.
9th best offensive lineman on the team.
Yeah, I'm the behemoth that is the Detroit Lions offensive line.
Right, but like you think
What
you're
number
the
offensive
ninth,
lineman are you?
You think you're the 9th best contributor to POD?
That's not what I'm saying.
Are there 9 people who work here?
I don't know. They're all falling like flies.
Hey, no rules. What fan event is there Wednesday? I'm not even aware of a fan event tomorrow or 2 days. So currently not scheduled to. All right, we got a lot of alerts to get to. Let me scroll all the way down here. Get to some of these alerts. David Lunch, thank you for the 40 months subscribed on Twitch. Amber Atkins, 5 months, says 5 months of limping through the offseason. Thanks for making it interesting, of course. J Rago, 21 months, subscribed on Twitch as well. Papa Steve, 8 months, says 8 months. I feel like a baby compared to some of these other long-toothed people here. We've got some crazy long subs. Not quite at 100 months yet, but I think we have some in the 90s, maybe 80s. I'm not sure.
I don't want to make any bad jokes. Go ahead.
Great. Drew Falcon, thank you for the 41 months. Says, what's up? Drew Dan Pask, 60 months, says, it's a locker room crew. It's my happy wishing Graham Glasgow all the very best anniversary. True. We just
MJ Kimball just said that Tim Boyle tosses better ad reads.
wow.
Jeremy.
If there was ever a bannable offense, that was it right there. Watch yourself, MJ Kimball. How dare you? Quirky Zerky, 55 months, subscribed on Twitch. John Johnson, 20 months. Boof Gertz, 27 months, just says boof. Cram, there's an 82 months. 82 months, says, not related to my sub, but Jeremy, I was wondering how the feed on POD works. I haven't posted there in a decade, and did this weekend and it never showed up on the feed preview on the front page. Is there a post ranking or something? Good question. So I don't know the exact formula, but there is an algorithm that puts you on the front page, and I think it's based on how trustworthy you are as a commenter, and I think that's based on how long you've been around and how many comments you've made. I believe also if it gets enough recs and comments, it bumps to the front page. If you're a staff member, it's automatically on the front page.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. But I think all those things are mixed in. So if you become a more active member on Pride of Detroit, it should show up there. SXN, thank you for the follow on Twitch. Captain James Kirk, 25 bits, says, bring back Miko. Also, week 3 of asking for a Miko emote. Sorry, he's gone. He's never coming back. No.
Oh no.
The more you guys act up, the more I'm gonna box him out. How about that?
Oof.
I gotta play the villain this week. That's anytime I'm like in charge.
Miko's sitting at his house wearing a safari hat with flaps.
JT Sam, thank you for the 38 months, says, boo, tomato, tomato, tomato. Miko's dictator. Captain James Kirk, 25, another 25 bit, says, I love how the actual podcast segment 1 ends with Jeremy saying, screw you to the audience. Fair. Colorado Lines, 18 months, subscribed on Twitch, says, my Vanillatron anniversary. What was your favorite moment from this offseason? Lions moment or non-Lions related off-season moment? HSW, what the hell? Captain James Kirk, another 10 bits, says that was the Michael Neese of ad reads. Man, he's the one with safari flaps on right now.
The hell?
Yeah, Detroit, 82 months subscribed on Twitch, and we are caught up. But yeah, Colorado Line, if you want to expand on favorite moment from this offseason, whether that's Lions related or un-Lions related, I'll give you an answer to that. We do have a couple requests, channel point redemption requests. HSW with 3 of them. Wants Zazu, wants a mozzarella stick shirt and a cowboy hat. And then
Jeez.
Flair, if you're still here, Flair, I didn't see what you want us to put into Chat GPT, but I will. Odds Rodrigo gets another deal. We're going to talk a little bit more about Rodrigo in a minute here, but
Depends on 2 things. One of them's him. Another one's another player.
Wonder who that could be.
You'll just have to listen to the second half of the POD cast.
All right. What was your favorite moment of the Lions off season?
Hold on. Sidebar. What's on your shirt?
A duck.
Oh, okay.
What did you think?
With it further down, it looked like the old school Tampa Bay Devil Rays logo.
Ooh. What does that look like?
Sick, awesome, of the 90s, something they never should have got rid of.
It said devil though, so
It did. Yeah. So 9/11 happened, and can't have devil in your name unless you're in New Jersey.
It's true.
Mine's a POD logo.
Repost it, Flair. Yeah, you made those hoodies.
I did.
I love that thing.
It is very nice. It does. The logo gets a little worn out, but I think that's you
That
put it on
shows
with
love.
a cricket, right?
Yeah.
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 That's the logo.
Yeah.
Pull it up. That's a good logo. It's very tropical-ish. Oops.
On brand, right?
Yeah.
Fits the location.
Yeah. Okay, this is a very long message flare. I'll do that in a minute. Hold on. Let me make sure I get to the right. Is that the one? Okay, good. Okay. Actually, I probably should use ChatGPT. Okay. The request is, imagine the Detroit Lions drafted the Bucky's Beaver in the 2026 NFL Draft. Write a short story, 8 to 10 sentences, projecting the career of the Beaver as a Detroit Lion. Consider the Lions' roster current needs and what position the Beaver might fit best. Include 1 to 2 highlight plays from the Beaver's career and have at least one be against the NFC North rival. Finally, have the last sentence include the Beaver's final career stats and accolades, if any. Can ChatGPT do highlights?
I don't know if it like video generate them, but at least
not.
tell you what what happened on the play. But this is not real journalism, just to let everybody know.
Got one of those hoodies too.
I think it's going to be more fun for me to just read this off screen than show you guys what it says on screen. So here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
When the Detroit Lions shocked the football world by selecting the Bucky's, actually it says Buckseas Beaver in the 2026 NFL Draft, many fans, clicked off. Hold on. Many fans wondered where a Beaver could possibly fit on an NFL roster. Given Detroit's ongoing needs for depth at edge rusher, the coaching staff converted the Beaver into a relentless pass-rushing defensive end where his low center of gravity and powerful tail made him impossible to move off the line. The Beaver spent his rookie season learning behind stars like Aiden Hutchinson and quickly became a fan favorite for his nonstop motor. By year 3, he was a full-time starter and helped anchor a Lions defense that finally solved its edge depth concerns. One of his most memorable plays came against the Green Bay Packers on Thanksgiving when he stripped the quarterback, scooped up the fumble, and lumbered, I don't know if that was intentional.
That's terrible.
42 yards for a touchdown that sealed the NFC North title on Thanksgiving.
Wow. Did they advance to 11-0?
I guess so. A few seasons later, in the NFC Championship game, the Beaver leaped to bat down a 4th down pass, then snagged the deflection himself for a game-clinching interception. His combination of power, instincts, and surprising agility made him one of the league's most unique defenders. Detroit fans embraced him as a symbol of grit and determination, and his jersey became a bestseller across Michigan. The Beaver retired after 14 seasons with 128 sacks, 19 forced fumbles, 7 defensive touchdowns, 6 Pro Bowls, 3 first-team All-Pro selections, and a Super Bowl championship.
Wow. When you were listening to the story, Ryan, did you just picture Ahmed Hassanin as the Beaver?
I don't know. I was honestly picturing it in a real Air Bud situation. And all the plays that you described are plays that I've seen Aiden Hutchinson make. Right. Like against the Falcons when he had the scoop score walk-off.
Mm-hmm.
The interception, like against the Rams last season. Yeah.
I like Bucky Van Ginkel.
I just don't know how his tail would be an asset.
Yeah, is that allowed? It's not in the rule book.
It's not the rule book.
There's nothing in the rule book that says you can't use your tail.
Well, that just means that the Packers, right, Eric, the Packers would do something in the offseason and vote towards banning. Like, he has to get his tail removed in order to keep playing.
Good reference.
Thank you. References are sick.
All right. I am going to go put on a mozzarella stick shirt, a cowboy hat, and get Zazu, which means you guys have to carry conversation now.
Oh, no. What will we talk about?
Show tail. Gross. Check.
Oh, remember that? Wasn't that what everybody was saying for Miko when he put on the onesie?
Oh, probably.
Oh.
All right. Now that he's gone, geez, oh, Pete's.
Yeah, finally cut the dead weight. Moldy cornbread immediately. Brad Galley.
Oh. So, buddy,
Yeah.
how are you enjoying your post school time right now?
Pretty
Getting to enjoy it a little bit?
a little bit. Yeah, I had to sit in on an interview today. Uh, School's hiring a new counselor, so I was chosen to sit in on that interview today. But
Reliable veteran voice.
dude, I can't believe it. This is gonna be my 10th year. Which just seems like such a long time at this point. But yeah, what about you? You're like officially off like drop off pickup duty?
Yeah,
Or are
well,
you
with
still
the kids.
doing it just without school?
No. Well, kinda, because my kids. So right now, just Harper is in her camp has already started. She does a theater camp,
Oh yeah,
and
that's cool. Still
so
doing that?
yeah, like they end at the end of the year, and then they do auditions like the very next week, and then they start right up again. So she's starting that, but then like they're like day camps and overnight camps start really like fast and furious in about 10 days. So not next week. Actually, I don't think it's next week. I better double check that just to be sure. But
I'll sneak up on you.
no, it is next week. So yeah, I got like 4 days. But the nice thing is Laura's last day is tomorrow. So
She gets
that
some
means
July reprieve. That's nice.
yeah. So she hasn't had a day, or she hasn't had any really time off. She took 2 days off so I could go to minicamp, which was very kind of her. And then I got super sick and ended up in the hospital and didn't get to go to minicamp. But hey, at least she was off so that I could go get better.
That's how I felt yesterday with Father's Day. Everybody's like, "How was your Father's Day?" I was like, "I had strep throat, but at least everybody left me alone. I get to rest."
Dude, can I tell you something? I don't want to name names, but a close friend of mine, we'll call that. He had a colonoscopy procedure today, and he did his prep on Father's Day. And I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
no.
Did not recognize in his head that he's like, "Oh, I just got to get this on the schedule," and so he just scheduled it and didn't realize that he was going to spend his whole Father's Day doing that prep. That's no fun. Poor guy. Poor guy.
Yeah, that's that is a Father's Day present right there, though. I liked it best when Zazu was right in front of your face, Jeremy, and it looked like he was wearing the hat.
Yeah, put him back.
Bring him back.
Put him back up.
He doesn't like sitting up here.
No one. I don't think actually got their full. We didn't get their full points worth. We need to get them back.
I get it. You don't want to see my face. It's fine.
Do it.
He's the boss.
You think you're the
gotta
boss.
do it.
But I can still do this. So
Oh no! What will I do? I get to not talk for half a second.
I feel like that mozzarella stick shirt like changed your complexion, Jeremy.
I said that
You
earlier.
look like you're glowing now.
Yeah, I said that when I first joined. I thought he looked like he was a sunburn.
I just
He's
changed
got
it.
some. He's got some weird lighting going on today.
Go back.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Go back.
I don't know how to do it.
You gotta sync. You gotta sync a little bit.
I mean, I spent a lot of time outside this weekend, but not as much as it's making me look red or did make me look red.
Looks like a bit of a chameleon right now. Like, just depending on the shadows and stuff, he's having some pretty drastic skin color change.
It's a hat. I'll take the hat off. Give myself the
No.
Peyton Manning little forehead mark.
No, put it back on.
Peyton Manning 5 head mark.
Guys, I completed a successful day of pickleball yesterday without destroying myself. I'm extremely sore because we played for 3 hours, but I didn't injure myself, so I'm pretty happy about that.
You sure?
Yeah.
You sure? I feel like it's one of these things where, it might show up like tomorrow. You'll be like, "Oh my God, I only have 1 foot." like,
I only have 1 foot.
whatever.
What kind of injuries are you talking about?
When you're getting old. I feel like you're at an age, you could just not feel the pain till the couple days
I
later.
told you, no, I'm sore as hell.
That's
Just not injured. Sore is not injured. Injuries don't show up days later.
Oh, well, my doctor begs to differ.
But I mean, your big thing was that you just wanted to go out there and not re-aggravate the calf, right? Like that was the big thing.
That was a big thing.
Do you not have to run that much? Did you play doubles or just sing? Or did you play singles?
Doubles? But
There you
I
go,
even
that helps.
jumped the net to attack Alex and didn't hurt myself. So
Just playing with fire.
Easy. That man is soon to be a father again. So
hey,
Jeez.
better watch how he acts.
Did you wear your overalls and run sprints back and forth?
oh man. God bless those boys. Anything else?
I
From
don't
the-
have much
from
to
the
report
reads?
back. Thomas J. Hutchins did subscribe for 39 months, but thank you, Thomas.
Nice.
Thank you to everyone else who subscribed on Twitch.
Jamal Agnew holiday
No,
anniversary.
that's right.
It's a good poll.
Um,
We were talking
right.
Alex. So.
we didn't get to
We
the
were
offense.
talking Alex. Yeah.
Can we get Jeremy one of those face masks so he can recreate the picture of Peyton with his face sticking out of the mask really awkwardly? Peyton who?
Manning, you were talking about your forehead, your 5 head.
Oh, his face sticks out of the mask. I don't.
Is this like a Hannibal Lecter situation? I'm not understanding. I don't remember
sure.
this moment.
Now we need to Google it. Peyton Manning sticking out of face mask awkwardly.
Yeah.
I see this one. Is this the one you're talking about? Like the winter mask? This thing?
Dude, wait, stop.
Nice.
Take that off.
That's the one. I've never seen this photo in my life.
That ear hole has clearly been cut out.
Wait, go back to this one. Can I get this one back? How have I never seen this one?
That's awful.
All right. Good memory.
What makes it the worst is that it's below his nose. Like if it was above his nose, he wouldn't look like
Right.
such a dingus.
My Duati 56 months says it's my Joe Schmidt anniversary.
Wow.
Good pull.
That's a good ball.
How old are you?
Yes, we are now through alerts. Did you have a topic you wanted to bring up, or do you want to just move to the second segment? We went
No.
45 minutes, I think, in the first segment.
Us? The three of us?
Yeah,
We did
believe
that?
it or not.
That's weird. I thought you were gonna have to cut after tight end, and then just do another segment just talking about the line, offensive and defensive, and then cut again. And then
So Eric, were you buying the fake ad read then? In
Yeah.
between tight ends and
well,
offense-
I was anticipating him. Let me clarify.
Yeah, he doesn't want
I
to give me
didn't-
credit. Let me clarify
didn't-
so I'm not giving
yeah.
Jeremy any credit.
Yeah. I didn't bite on the fake, but I was like, this would be an appropriate spot to put an ad read. But then I also saw in the notes that he had segment 2 listed after a while, so that's
Yeah.
why I didn't bite on it. Really,
I'm glad you read the outline for once.
I know. Well, I knew Ryan was going to be here. I didn't want to embarrass him.
What's up, Johnny Mac?
I knew that Jeremy wasn't going to do the ad read because he is a
stickler.
completionist when it
yeah.
comes to we're going to do the offense in one segment and the defense in another segment. And like if he's putting together a plate of food, like his food items are not going to touch. They're in the different sections.
I have a friend. This is we're you gave me the opening to veer into food talk, and we're doing it now.
Whores divorce. Have at it.
I have a friend who eats all of, like, if your plate has 3 different things, like chicken, mashed potatoes, and green beans. He will eat all of them separately.
Me too.
Really?
Yep. I'm that kind of person. I don't know why, but it's like wait, let me ask you the question. Does he have to always section eat?
I think he always does. Yeah.
I would prefer to do it with certain things because like I want to eat all of this before I go to like this other flavor. Like especially like Thanksgiving, right? If you think about like a plate where it's like stuffing and mashed potatoes, I can go back and forth between that.
Right.
Right. But
And
like
plus, I like to slather the mashed potatoes on top of the turkey.
exactly. But like
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat the cranberry sauce last.
Yeah.
Like because that's like sweeter to me. So like
Sure.
I'm not gonna eat something sweet and then go back to like I think that's so I prefer to eat in sections, but like my my uncle had a roommate who like none of his stuff could touch on the plate and he would eat in sections. Like he couldn't have anything touch. If it touched, he wouldn't eat it.
See, it's weird to me, but I can't explain why it's weird to me. I can't explain why I feel it's right to just like, I'll have a little bit of this, then a little bit of that, then a little bit of this. Like, eat however, I'm not going to judge. Eat however you want. I didn't know people ate that way.
I tend to eat that way, but with one caveat. I always save my perfect last bite as the last bite.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think that's usually the right move.
Will you guys sometimes take like a bad bite to get that good last bite? Like if you're eating a sandwich and it's like it's really kind of like you have to kind of like maybe like
I don't want the crust in my last bite. No. So I'll turn it awkwardly. Yeah. 100%.
I do honestly some of those like
I love that.
The online memes and like things that trigger engagement, the one that I like the most is like, here's a sandwich with a bunch of bites out of it. Where's your next bite?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I had
People are saying
I had to reset.
I'm not getting anything.
I had to refresh too.
Yeah. I had to refresh it now. It says we're offline. Refreshing again.
Let me know if it comes back in the next few seconds. If not, I'll just
back. It's back.
Okay. Weird.
Let
me check on YouTube. YouTube, did you lose anything?
Yeah, with the Father's Day barbecue that I was so fortunate to have.
Mm-hmm.
Brisket is my jam. So I had brisket for Father's Day, and then we bought extra because I like to save. I like to have extra, and then for lunch, I save some of the mac and cheese, right, as well. So the next day, I then take some of the brisket and crumple it up in the mac and cheese and reheat. That's my next day lunch, and then I had the last of it tonight for dinner. So it becomes like a three. I have it 3 times, three out of 4 meals, and it's just saved the last little kind of bits of those brisket right till the very end. That's the jam. That's the way to do it.
Meats are tough reheated though. You can never get the same consistency.
If they're done right though, like it can be. It's good. Yeah.
I guess my issue is like, one, it's the consistency. It's hard to get like a freshly cooked meat back to where it does, and then if you do, then you're kind of overcooking it also.
But it depends on what you're trying to manipulate, right?
Yeah, for
like
sure.
with barbecue, that's like smoked and like it hits where it hits.
Right.
So just like throwing that back in a skillet the next day just to kind of heat it up and make it pliable, like, a little bit more pliable, like that's still butter. Like it's still and that's a strategy. Really.
You do have to go the extra mile though, right? Like the microwave doesn't suffice. Like you have to go to the skillet.
I mean, you can if you're in a
rush, but to bring it back to life, right? Like it's the same thing with like French fries, right? You're not going to put French fries in the microwave. You're going to want to put them in the air fryer.
Yeah.
I'm hungry though. I want barbecue now.
We got some Buc-ee's
I'm
chat.
Sorry.
Amber says the Buc-ee's brisket was worth the hype. JC said he had one for the first time last week. So good.
Mine, I had Billy Sims barbecue.
Oh, that's right. I've had it.
Yeah.
I've had it when I've been at your place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yep. It's really. The nice thing is like, again, you go there and you're like, I just want everything times 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
costs like an exorbitant amount of money, but like when you also keep in mind, like you're gonna get at least 3 meals out of it. You know what I
right.
mean?
Mhm.
Like you're like, okay, I can just quality plus quantity. You know, it ends up being justified.
Day 3, when you're heating up that last plate, you're like, man, what a steal. Right? Like you're like, man, this was a deal.
I haven't had to move my finger at all to make meals the past 72 hours.
The Bucky stuff is funny though, because I felt like after we had that conversation with Miko, like we all like started to just, it felt like I was getting more Bucky's content. But
Yeah.
the other thing was that I ran in like to one of my coworkers here at the school, because I had to come up here for another reason, and she was like, yeah, my husband and I, like, we're taking a day trip. I was like, oh, where are you going? She's like, we're going to Bucky's. I want to go to Bucky's. And I was like, get out. Like, are you seriously going? She's like, yeah. She's like, kids are going to be at home. My husband's going to get off work and we're just going to drive to Bucky's. And
Where's the closest one?
4 hours away in Ohio.
in Ohio.
Oh,
Right on brand.
I came very close to going to a Sheetz the other day because I was driving past one on the highway.
Okay, I drove past a couple on the way to Ohio too, and I was curious.
Yeah, I had just gone grocery shopping, and you just have that guilt of like, my fridge is so full. I should not be getting food on the way home.
Yeah, there's stuff in my fridge now I should currently be eating, and I have more stuff from my fridge. Yeah.
Right. To Kenny Thornhill on YouTube says, I'm new here. What's the topic of discussion? We normally talk Lions football, but we are on
a lot
break
more
from our
eloquently.
We just got done with a 45-minute segment on the offense and everything we saw on OTAs and minicamp and kind of revisiting the depth chart. But to make it a more interactive experience and just, I don't know, to be a little bit more casual during our breaks here where we acknowledge our live audience more and just kind of talk about whatever comes up in the chat or whatever we want to talk about. We go usually another 45 minutes of kind of off-topic chatting, and then we jump back into the podcast.
I did not feel eloquent at all. I made like 3 mistakes in that opening podcast.
Hey, you're rusty. You didn't do midweek mailbag. I only caught one, so.
Josh, when I said Craig Reynolds instead of Jacob Sailors.
You sure did. And I was going to correct you, and then I'm like, meh.
Yeah, just let him look stupid.
So what? So one mistake? There was brief flittering?
There was another couple that I just not as polished as I'd like to be.
Flu game. It's fine.
Nothing significant. Nothing as obvious as the Reynolds one.
Michael Jordan missed shots in his flu game. He didn't shoot 100%, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, didn't you hear Roger Federer's like speech he gave where he's like, "Oh, I only won 52% of my points." Supposed to be like, "Oh, look how often you can fail and be great at something." I think that was the takeaway.
That's right. Have you guys been watching the World Cup? I have not really been.
Mm-hmm.
I want to, but I also don't have Peacock or Fox Sports, whatever.
It's been good. I like it. My favorite has been the videos that have crossed my timeline in different social media platforms of all the people from Europe coming to the U.S. and being like, this is what a Costco is? Right. We get refills on our pop. Like, that's just so wholesome and fun. Like, great, 100%. Great videos.
The Scottish playing bagpipes at 6:30 in the morning and waking everybody up and out drinking Boston.
Yeah, drinking Boston out of beer. Like, that's amazing.
Did you hear that story, Jeremy?
No, I didn't.
Story.
So the report out of Boston was that because Scotland, Boston is their host city, and they drank more beer, like it was like a day or two.
It was a couple days. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
in a couple days than they sell during St. Patrick's Day, like in Boston. Like they ran out of beer.
Like it was to a point where they were interviewing people from Scotland, and they were like, "They're out of beer." I mean, they have Bud Light, but other than that, they're out of beer.
That's incredible. How have I not heard this?
Oh yeah, there's
Tartan
been like
Army apparently.
You've seen like the lot of the different cultures coming in and doing some of their traditions, and
it almost makes you want to like believe in global harmony.
Well, and you know what the thing is there's so many like positive like interactions.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, they're like, "Oh, I can't believe people are friendly," and I'm like, "Yeah, there are a lot of friendly people." You know, hopefully you keep running into them. Right. And then you know, most of the frustration seems to be geared just towards like FIFA and the organization of all this stuff, like, which is where the anger should be, right?
Sure.
Noel Summers, chief operating officer at Hennessy's Bar, told the Boston Globe that his sales tripled St. Patrick's Day and that we've been here for over 30 years and we've never seen anything like it. The parent company of Sam Adams said its Boston taproom ran out of the brand's flagship Boston Lager over the weekend because Scotland soccer fans drank 4 times as much the bar usually sells. Which is just fantastic. Like I love Americans getting knocked down a peg because they think that we can drink, buddy. There's not a lot of in Scotland outside of drink, so like they can do it. They can do it a lot better than you can.
Some of the videos of like the celebrating in the streets and just a mass of them of people, like it's been awesome. It's been cool to watch. Yeah. I mean, the games have been good too. I mean, and the game's kind of going as you would expect, I think, for the most part.
Things will really pick up during the knockout stage.
Yeah,
more tense, right? Yeah.
There's a couple of Cinderellas. There's a couple of teams that aren't doing as well as they should, but like it's standard World Cup stuff. Messi became the most scoring, the player with the he scored the most goals in World Cup history by one player. That happened today.
It's cool.
Like
I saw the son of some Green Bay Packer scored a goal too, right? For the United States?
With his face.
With his face.
Yeah. He's a young kid that the team seems to like a lot. Antonio Freeman's kid.
That's right.
There you go. Have you seen the dog tweet, Jeremy? It's one of probably my top 5 tweets I've ever seen ever.
The dog tweet is so non-specific that I have no idea what you're talking about.
I just put it in Slack. You have to go to Twitter to see the translation of it.
Listen, I can. That's enough.
You have enough.
My Spanish 201 is good enough to know what that means. It's pretty good. I'll translate it for you guys. Or not, apparently, because Twitter just froze.
Gotta love Twitter.
It says, "Oh no, another gray card."
And the dog's looking back and forth.
Why did it freeze?
I don't know, but it's just such a good tweet.
Yeah. Everyone loves a good dog colorblind jokes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I saw a story of, I can't remember which country it was. There's just a guy in the stands that stands still for the entire 90 minutes. He's honoring like some statue. Let me see if I can find the story. I
don't know. Dan,
Congo.
I wish I had that game on.
It's honestly the coolest thing. It does kind of look like he's giving a Nazi salute, but he's not. He's not. But he
Just think-
stands on this pedestal and just is above the crowd and just like doing that, like waving his hand, and he stands still the entire match.
I don't think I could do that for very long.
No,
Like how long? Like over under how long do you think you could do it? Could
I get
stand there
uncomfortable
with your
What is
hand
going on with
in
my-
the air.
I'm almost grayscale at this point. What's happening with the color of my stream?
I have no idea.
Just do one of these. Just do
I don't know from a like patience standpoint, Eric, how long I could last.
I don't think physically I could last that long. Like holding my hand above my head like that with like no support on it, like I think that would be. I think it's more challenging.
Then you would think yeah. Does he get a break at halftime or no?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean maybe, but for 45 minutes, do you think you could hold your hand above your head for 45 minutes?
I'd be hoping for very little penalty time.
I there's no way I could do that. There's no way.
It's super cool. We got a couple more alerts here. Duckline, thank you for the 39 months subscribed on Twitch, and Sundog, thank you for 42 months.
HSW. Oh no, another gray Jeremy. That's good. That's well done.
Eric getting off the DNP list is the hottest offseason news yet, says Sundog. For now.
Well, I got 6 weeks to rehab before I need to be ready to go. All right.
I suppose.
You'll be ready before Micah Parsons.
Oh, that's
I don't
sad.
know.
That story's so sad.
You clearly didn't click on the article though, Eric, because if you would have,
Why would I do
The
that?
source.
if you would have seen the source, you would have been like, "Oh, this story's garbage.
Well,
Can't trust
I
it."
believe it. Every I almost said something. I almost said the quiet part out loud.
All right. Good.
Just in case you don't know. Oh, well, I think you're thinking of someone else. You're thinking of someone else who was involved in maybe a little bit of a Twitter.
No, I wasn't. I was
Oh.
I was just not being nice.
Well, the person at hand is a three-named person, in case you're wondering who we're talking about.
No, I don't know them.
You do. That's okay.
Jason Lockenfora.
Yeah.
Isn't that 3? That's 3, right?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
3.
Yep. Yes, it is, Eric.
Esteemed journalist.
The travesty is at the Reisman recording room payback. The travesty that is the Reisman recording room payback. I guess everyone in the beat is just scared of competition. That's fine.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what it is. Nothing else.
I agree. No, I mean normally the media Olympics happen on the last day of OTAs, which typically happens after minicamp. But because they changed the order, that somehow made it harder on the Lions crew. I think what happens is the Lions media crew, their PR crew, that last week of OTAs after it comes after minicamp is super light. Like half the players are gone. It's usually just the young players, and so they have time to like set that up and do all that sort of stuff. But with minicamp, it's like everyone's there, and then everyone's gone. And so they didn't have time to set that up, I guess. I don't know.
They're so just locked in. Like I don't think they have time for our shenanigans.
Yeah. It's probably true.
Unfortunately, the death blow to revisiting that competition was sealed during the schedule release.
Yeah.
Yep. Dan Campbell just pinning that to the wall is popping the balloon.
Yeah. That was the first thing I thought when he pushed
He
that
did
on the
that,
wall.
yeah.
I thought another year with the Reisman recording room.
You were looking around on the rest of the corkboard. You're like, I don't see a date for the Beat Writer Olympics.
The saddest part, and to me is that I've been told if and when my name finally comes off there, I can't have the plaque because they're just going to take off my name. They're just going to like take the tape off my name and put it there. I'm like, oh, come on. I'll pay for another plaque.
They wouldn't even engrave it for you. That's how temporary they thought your reign would be.
Little did they know. 3 years running.
They've held the competition twice. And he's held the room for a year longer, twice as long as the competition actually was.
Dan Pask is right. I think we know who to blame for that decision.
Don't let Eric see that comment. Thanks, 3 and 3 Lions. I'm thinking someone on that video commented that we should get Brad Galley on the show, and I think I agree. I don't know how we're going to fit that in. What show?
I don't know how we'd fit him in a frame.
That's also true. But I love Brad. I'm very excited about him going independent, and watched his interview with like the Dumb and Dumber, like Detroit guy.
Whoa.
Jeff Daniels. Jeff Daniels, yeah. Listen, I'm not all caught up in that celebrity culture, right? I don't remember everyone's name. No, but it was good. Brad's such a really good interviewer that, like, our whole conversation was completely off the cuff. And I think he does a good job coming in with some ideas, but also, like, just going to where the conversation is taking us. He's very good. What year did I actually win it? 23?
1998.
You were 22 or 23.
I propose that if we have Brad Galley on the show, we have him appear like Wilson in Home Improvement. You can only, like, we'll have a fence. You only get to see his eyes.
That's right. It was 23. The highlights are still there. And the only highlight they have of me is falling on my face. And Danny Rogers going, that man just fell on his face because she didn't know my name.
Yeah. Look where you are. Look where she is.
Whoa.
Big Ten.
Whoa.
I haven't seen that video in a while.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's painful.
Imagine if I had caught that punt too. Like, I would have just run away with it.
That man just doesn't know your name. That's so funny. Oh, man.
All right. I think maybe it's time to jump back in. Fair enough. Oh, 303 Lines. Thank you for the 2 months. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate you.
Are the Tigers doing good things?
Apparently.
Oh, cool.
5-1.
5-1.
5-1. They're back.
McGonagall. He's cool.
Sure. Even thank you for the 55 months subscribed on Twitch. Appreciate you. And Joe Tiger. Thank you for the 16 months. I almost missed that one as well. Yeah, I saw people talking about the dirt came on Twitter. I don't know what that means, but okay. The top comment for that video still wears inside the den. Of course it is. All right, let's get back to it. Get back on the right scene. All right. And we are back here on the Pride of Detroit PODcast talking about OTAs, minicamp, recapping all that, and talking about the depth chart and position battles ahead. Talked about the offense in the first segment. Let's move to the defense, and let's start on the defensive line. We'll start on the inside a little bit. Even though that's kind of I would say argued the position that's hardest to evaluate during OTAs and minicamp is the interior defensive line, where you're not running the ball that much. You're not getting a whole lot of 11-on-11s. You're not getting any one-on-ones or anything like that with the defensive line versus the offensive line. But we talked to the players, we talked to the coaches, and that gives us at least a little insight as to where these players are. And I think we should start the conversation with Aleem McNeil, who says he feels night and day different from when he came back from his ACL injury last year. What are you guys' feelings on the ability of Aleem McNeil to get back to where he was? Because I think a lot of people have rightfully pointed that out as being critical to the Lions getting back to where they were, is having a guy like Aleem McNeil just plug up the middle of the defense in terms of run stopping, and then also finally providing some interior pass rush.
Yeah, I think the timeline sets him up to be able to come back, right? We last offseason, we had been talking about the fact that when he did come back, we expected a little bit of a lull, and we eventually saw that. But now, yeah, he should be able to get right back to where he was physically. Talent's still there. He's still real young. And so I have high expectations for him that he should be able to rise his game up to a level where it needs to be. You have to keep in mind that Hutchinson has continued to develop on the right side of him. You now have a first rounder in Tyleik Williams on the left side of him who brings more athleticism, as opposed to a DJ Reader who is more of a plugger, right? So there's a little bit more juice and youth on the outside of him as well, which should set Aleem up to get some one-on-ones that maybe he, hasn't always been afforded. So I do think Aleem is in a good spot, and I have very high expectations for him.
I think the team should have high expectations for him too, especially after that contract he signed in 2024. And I think we were seeing the best version of Aleem McNeil in 2024 before the injury in the Buffalo game. And again, that kind of felt like the injury that really pushed the Lions past the point of no return on defense. You lose him and Carlton Davis in the same game, and it was like, okay, well, good luck. You've kept this thing together with, gum and Band-Aids. Let's see if it can continue. But just to kind of put that in perspective, like in 2024, he was tied for 18th amongst interior defensive linemen in pressures. And he only played 14 games. So, he missed out on some games. Could have easily been like in the top 10 in pressures, I think, because that includes postseason totals too. But he was just on that upward trajectory. Jeremy, if we're taking everybody at their word, if he is truly back and healthy, do you think he's a guy who tips the scales for the defense as a whole?
I mean, no doubt. I think he does. I think he makes everyone around him better when he's good, right? If he starts off playing really well, and it's going to require extra attention, and that could potentially free up Aiden. It could potentially free up Tyleik. It could potentially free up, Derek Moore or whoever's on the right side there. It could potentially free up linebackers, right? I think there's a fair amount of concern with the linebacker group because they lost Alex Anzalone and didn't necessarily fill that spot right away, at least. But if your interior defensive linemen are doing their jobs, and those guys can run free, and makes their job a hell of a lot easier. And so I do think Aleem McNeil is a little bit of a linchpin to the defensive season this year. If he is back to his normal self, then I think we're talking about the defense that we saw at the beginning of that 2024 season, where it was just like, oh, this is a top 10 defense. Like, this is a team that DVOA, EPA, yards per attempt, like any stat you used, that was a top 10, arguably top 5 defense when everyone was healthy. And so I think Aleem is that important to get that team back to where they are, not only because he was such a good player, but I'm also a little bit concerned about the depth behind him. Like, if he goes down, who steps up in his place that's trustworthy enough to play the 3-tech consistently and get to the quarterback? I'm not sure there's a lot of guys that I trust to do that.
There's probably one.
Is it Tyleik?
No, I was going to say Levi. Levi
Yeah.
Onwuzurike is maybe your only guy.
Right.
Right? So, I mean, Levi's this. You're assuming he's coming back healthy though too,
Sure.
which is a bit of a question mark as well. So, yeah, interior defensive line depth is certainly going to be a catalyst in this team's success.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the Jeffrey Simmons contract? It was
I
like
didn't see.
3 years,
Yeah,
and he got
something
100
crazy.
million
Yeah.
guaranteed. In 2024, in their regular season and in less snaps, Lee McNeil had the same amount of pressures as Jeffrey Simmons. And in 2023, Lee McNeil had 43 pressures, right? So if he is that guy and if he's better than that guy that he was in 2024, I mean,
It's big
we could
news.
be talking about a very big bargain for what the Lions are getting on his contract.
No doubt. I want to move to the outside a little bit because I think there's a lot of interesting things happening at the edge position that is not being talked about as much as maybe it should. The first is Tyler Lacey repping with the first team a lot when the lines are in kind of that big, they need that big end. So just a quick explanation if you don't know what the big end role is. It's a lot of times when you see three linebackers out there and you see Derek Barnes and the Sam, you'll have a big end inside him, and that's usually lined up at the 4I or maybe the 5, just right over the left tackle. Tyler Lacey has kind of been the guy who's been their number one guy. I think Levi is a guy who could potentially be their number one guy there, and maybe, they're just concerned about him getting fully healthy first, and that's why he's repping kind of on the other side of the field. But I also think what's interesting, everyone's favorite, Ahmed Hassanin, is also apparently moving to that role. Casey Rogers kind of let the cat out of the bag saying, with Ahmed, the thing is he's gotten bigger and stronger than in the offseason right now. We're kind of we're transitioning him to from the rush position, which we've got a lot of, to the big end position with his size and stuff. You know what? He's been a pleasant surprise this spring. So maybe he enters that conversation. I'm curious as to what you guys think about the contenders there at the big end position, and I guess the importance in this defense of having a guy who can essentially, be a good run defender over the left tackle while also providing what is essentially interior pass rush.
Yeah, I have some reservations about Hassanin at the 4I for a couple of reasons. First, I just want to talk about the fact that the role is you have to be able to take on blocks and hold blocks and sustain an edge. That's a big part of that role. And in order to do that, you typically need size. When Levi came out of college, he was, I think, like 290. Right. And then he put on and he went up to 315. He's back down to just over 300 now. So 300 is a pretty good hybrid weight for a guy who plays that kind of hybrid edge spot. Give you a little pass rush, but also strong enough and big enough to still hold the edge. Tyler Lacey was 280 when he was coming out of Oklahoma State. He's now bulked up. He's 300 as well, right? With Hassanin, he was 267 last year, and they're listing him on the Lions website today as 275. So he's going to be on the light side. Hassanin is also shorter, right? Hassanin is like about 6'2.5", so it's a tick under. Levi's right around 6'3". Lacey's at 6'4". So again, he's just a little bit behind. What will help him, or what also hurts him, I'm sorry, is that his arm length is undersized as well. It's under 33 inches, and so he's a little bit low on height. He's a little bit low on arm length. He's a little bit light in the pants right now. And so for me, the way I view where he's always been at his best is when you light his hair on fire and just let him run. Like, I don't want to hold Hassanin hostage to having to set an edge and get firm. I think he's better suited. Now, can he do that? Sure, because he's a wild man and he's a super athlete, right? But I don't like the fit as well as I do with Lacey or Onwuzurike or even Tyree West, who they just drafted, who's 285.
Right.
And by the time he gets out of camp, he's going to be probably 295, right? Because these guys all add like 10 pounds. And so West seems like a more natural fit into that role than Hassanin does. So I'm a little cautious on that from a physical standpoint, but I'm also not putting a lot. I'm not counting against Hassanin because his work ethic is tremendous. Like we've seen that fire.
Yeah, I think what I find most interesting about it is like the comments from Rogers himself. Like I totally hear Eric's reservations, but I think what's most interesting is that we have a guy like Casey Rogers who's talking about Ahmed Hassanin when this team brought in DJ Wanham and they have Derek Moore, and there's so many new players and faces and things of that sort. You're hearing him talk about, you know, really a numbers game, right? Like we have a bunch of guys who can get after the the passer, but like we're interested in putting him in this role, and he's been a pleasant surprise. Okay, like your ears perk up a little bit in the sense that he's back on your radar. Not saying that I didn't have him making the team, but I think Jeremy, we kind of agreed early bubble watch construction kind of may
Right.
begin and end with Ahmed Hassanin.
Yeah, at the rush end position, it's hard to find a spot for him, right? Like DJ Wanham is there. You drafted Derek Moore. Like I think they like Peyton Turner more than fans like Peyton Turner, and obviously Peyton Turner has to prove that he can withstand an entire training camp and a season. But I think all three of those guys are guys that are ahead of Ahmed Hassanin on the depth chart at the rush end position. It's a lot thinner at the big end position, but like he also has those three guys that we named there. Like he has to get above Levi, he has to give above Tyree West, he has to get above Tyler Lacey. Like there's competition everywhere.
I wonder if he has to get ahead of Anthony Lucas as well.
Yeah, he's a little spark plug out there too. Like those
Right.
guys bring way more. Like you could power downtown Detroit with just the energy from those two guys.
The Isaiah Stewart of the Detroit Lions, Anthony
That's right.
Lucas.
Well, if Isaiah Stewart is still here.
Are you breaking news right now, or are we going to talk about the linebackers?
Let's talk about the linebackers. I'm not an NBA reporter, nor an insider. Okay, so the big news out of the linebacker position is probably the fact that the Lions have now repeated multiple times, and by the Lions I mean Kelvin Shepard, that they're going to play more nickel this year. So that means fewer, obviously, the three linebacker sets. But maybe you guys are reading it differently, but it seems to me like the top three are relatively set with Jack Campbell, Derek Barnes, and Malcolm Rodriguez. Maybe Malcolm's spot is up for grabs a little bit, especially with the hype that Jimmy Rolder is getting. Praised highly by the coaching staff for how quickly he's learning the offense or the defense. Obviously, he makes the interception during one of the team drills. I don't know. It's hard. It's hard this time of year to buy into hype too much. But I will say, like, I'm starting to even come around on the pick a little bit from my initial skepticism. But I don't think I'm yet at the point where I think Rolder could realistically challenge for a starting job, even by the end of the year.
With Rolder, the biggest hurdle I think for him is just going to be speed of the game, right?
Sure.
Linebackers have to learn a ton of information, and he is 1 year experience in college, and now you're asking him to absorb everything that the secondary does, everything that the front does, and your role entirely. It's a lot to take in, and so I don't know if he'll threaten Malcolm, but I think he'll threaten Malcolm as much as Malcolm threatened his class when he was a rookie,
Sure.
right? Because the raw talent, I think, is there. The challenge for Rolder will be the linebacker room is much better now than it was when Malcolm was a rookie.
Well, the
right?
top end of it, right? Like the
Yeah,
depth is
yeah,
probably
it was-
around the same, but
it
the
was-
top end is tough.
Right. It was Alex Anzalone, and then Malcolm was like number 2 that year. It felt like, right.
Right. Yeah.
And now it's different. Now you have more depth. Now you have the starters are a little bit more firm in place. I do expect Malcolm to be number 3, and I also believe Shep when he says that they're going to go more nickel. That's something we had been talking about based on roster building since free agency. We didn't see that linebacker depth coming in free agency. We didn't see them go after multiple linebackers in the draft or as UDFAs. Like we saw some filler guys, but it was a position we expected more bodies at, and they just didn't come. And so that certainly says more nickel. And then what do we see when we get to the secondary? I don't want to get too far ahead, but like we're seeing a bigger influx of guys, more position flexible guys that can play in the slot, and it just lends itself to both what the coaches are saying and what the roster looks like. That nickel is going to be more prominently used this year.
I think the only thing for me, Jeremy, is like maybe I'm a little bit more interested to see what the preseason games look like for Jimmy Rolder, because I
Sure.
agree. I think it's the speed of the game thing that Eric mentioned, and even a guy like Jack Campbell, right? He had to adjust to the speed of the game. He was
Yeah.
a first round pick, 18th overall, right? Like he was a
Didn't
guy
start
who
right
very
away.
much, yeah, who very much had to come along in that respect because, as Eric mentioned, it is such a tough position. So I'm with you, Jeremy. I think that he's a guy who I don't even know by the end of the season if he's going to be challenging what the Lions have above him on the linebacker depth chart, but I'm at least more intrigued, and at least I think that there's more to be seen
Right.
in the preseason than I thought maybe after the draft.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, one of the bigger questions with him was his coverage abilities, right? It's something that didn't pop in his Michigan tape. It's something that typically you need time to adjust, right? Like being a 1-year starter at Michigan, it'd be very rare and out of place for him to just be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a lockdown zone defender." Like that doesn't come right away. So for him to nab at least one interception, there was a photo that may have been another interception, but it was a photo, so who knows? Is promising, right? That he's already taking steps there. That he was able on that specific play to like drop in zone, read the quarterback, high point the ball. Like it doesn't prove he can cover, but it proves there's some skill set there to build off of. And so, considering all the praise he's getting about being smart and learning the defense quickly, I think maybe the long-term prognosis of that pick, to me, maybe the ceiling is a little bit higher than I expected with the pick initially. And obviously, again, with a 1-year starter, you don't really know where that ceiling is until you get him out there on the field and start to develop him. But just an interesting pick to certainly keep an eye on. But yeah, let's move to the corner position. And since we were talking about nickel, let's go there first. Roger McCreary seems like he might have that spot locked down. I know a lot of people are very high on Keith Abney and the pick and getting a steal there, and some people think he could contend for a starting job. He wasn't with the starters pretty much at any point, I think, during OTAs and minicamp. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if I saw literally anyone else playing the nickel other than those two, McCreary and Abney. Like, they took pretty much all the first and second team reps and maybe even the third team reps. So there's a couple questions there. One is, do you think anyone else will eventually enter that race? Because, as Eric mentioned, there are guys that have experience at the nickel, right? Like you could put Avonte Maddox there, you put Christian Izzy in there. I mean, Lauren Strickland could go there. So do you guys think there will eventually be guys that get more reps there? I mean, maybe a guy like Avonte Maddox just doesn't need the reps because they trust him at this point.
Yeah, I think there's a path to like Izzy and Maddox potentially being guys that get in line. But for now, it certainly appears that they're putting their eggs in the McCreary Abney basket. And if that McCreary's got a lock on that starting spot and Abney is the developmental guy that they're hoping can, develop into a starter somewhere in that secondary. But they don't want to push him, right? And I think that's a good spot for him to be in. But if McCreary were to get injured and Abney wasn't ready, I could see Izzian being the guy that gets
Sure.
called on because of his experience, especially if you're having health at safety, right? And that'll be a key. We'll get to that in the next section here. But if the way the dominoes fall, the situations that occur, I'm kind of pegging Izzian as kind of like my nickel 3, in addition to whatever else he's going to be doing. I don't want to get too far in on Maddox because we're grouping him with the safeties, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying like he's a capable nickel. He's played enough there
right
where he can be an emergency option.
I just wonder. Maddox is one of the guys that I wonder if his roster spot is maybe necessarily safe. I think he's a guy who's going to have to earn a spot,
Yeah.
whereas Isian, I think because of his special teams, because of the money that they've invested in him, those
And the
signs
youth, right?
point to yeah, and those signs point to him being a guy who is almost I wouldn't he's not necessarily a lock, but he's a lot closer to being a lock to the roster than Maddox is. And with his versatility to play both safety spots and nickel, Isian just brings a collection of versatility, and so the I think they have three nickels in my opinion, and Isian is kind of the break glass. Like Isian is the guy that you use that instead of having to use Brian Branch, right? Like that would have been that would have been the scenario previously if that Branch would have had to been nickel three. Now you have a guy like Isian, it gives you some flexibility.
Do you want to move to outside corner, Ryan? Because there's certainly an interesting storyline potentially developing there with Dan's comments that that Terrion Arnold is going to have to earn his job. We didn't see much of him in the spring because he's still recovering. He said he estimated, I think, at 75 to 80% from presumably his shoulder injury, which he had to get surgery on twice this offseason. So he basically only did, the walkthrough stuff. And even when he was doing the walkthrough stuff, he was interestingly on the reserve side of the field, not the starter side of the field, giving Ennis Rakestraw, Rock Ya-Sin, and obviously DJ Reed time with the ones. So I guess I'll kind of ask the question that I've been asking for all these, like, are you buying a legit competition for the cornerback job opposite DJ Reed?
I think I'm buying it, and I think it's funny enough, right? We just had this conversation about nickel cornerback and a guy who was minutes away from making his first NFL start at nickel cornerback before he gets injured in Ennis Rakestraw, and
Yep.
that changes the entire trajectory of his young career. And last year we were at a point where, all right, Ennis Rakestraw is an outside cornerback. That's where he's playing. That's where he's playing this year. He was drafted in the second round. He had first round pedigree to some extent, right? In the same draft class as Terrion Arnold. I buy it. I buy what Dan Campbell is saying is not coach speak. If it is coach speak, do you think he's attempting to light a fire under Terrion Arnold? Maybe there's a little bit of that if you want to talk about it being coach speak, but I do take Dan at his word that everybody has to go earn it. I find it very intriguing. Like Ennis Rakestraw could be a player who potentially upends Terrion Arnold. I feel more confident in DJ Reed and having his side of the field, especially maybe coming back from the hamstring injury. I'm a little bit worried about the inconsistency with Terrion Arnold. I'm a little bit worried about the durability with Terrion Arnold. If this is the hot take, I know I missed it by a week, Jeremy. We made our bold proclamations, our way too early predictions last podcast, but Eric, like how hot of a take is it to say, in August, Ennis Rakestraw beats Terrion Arnold to be the other outside cornerback?
It's a little bit of a hot take. I think it's bold. It's a bold take. I'll give you that. But
Don't you see them maybe playing if he plays well enough? Could he overtake Rock Ya-Sin?
That's the guy I wanted to bring into this conversation was because it's not just Ennis. It's Rock. Rock is tailor made for this defense, in my opinion. And so and the reason I think it's a full-fledged competition is not just because couldn't they find something in Ennis, but I think Rock is that steady veteran that they could play opposite Reed and feel comfortable.
Yeah.
The upside of Rakestraw is what's appealing. The upside of Terrion is what's appealing if he can get that health right. But the steadiness of Rock is really something that appeals to me. I've always been a strong advocate of you need three capable outside starting corners because they get injured and you need to be able to have a one ready to go. And it looks like they might have that option right now. And now injuries will occur and we'll see how the things shake out. But you're returning both starters. you are returning your CB3 from last year, who's steady, and then you're hoping to get Ennis back and seeing if he can finally get that next step. Like it's hard for me to like say I think Ennis is like full on. I think he's in the mix. Let me put it that way. It's hard for me to say. Like I want to see what he can do. I want to see him stay healthy. I want to see him, that production because he was a guy like you said. I loved his talent when he was coming out. Like he had, and if he's put on weight and he's more able to be more physical, I think he certainly has the potential to throw his hat in the mix and let them challenge Terrion.
I want to bring it back to Terrion a little bit because I compare and contrast this offseason to last offseason, and like they were so high on him last year, right? They were like, he looks so good. He's killing it in training camp. He's saying all the right things, doing all the right things. We think this is going to be a big year for him. And now it's like, and obviously like he's injured. So like he can't wow them during spring practice because he's 75, 80%. But like, even for them to go out and be like, oh, when he's healthy, he's our starter. Didn't say that. Didn't come close to saying that. They said that about Kirby. They said that about Brian Branch, and I understand those guys have actual proven pedigree on the field. But for him to just go from this guy that's like, oh my God, he's about to blow your guys' socks off to, yeah, once he's even healthy, then we'll talk about him having a starting job maybe. To me is kind of shocking. It's kind of, and if you go back and watch that press conference with Dan Campbell and he's talking about it, it's just one of those things where if you read the transcript, it doesn't sound like anything he said was demoralized or anything like that. But if you read between the lines sometimes with Dan and just kind of catch his demeanor, it just like felt like, okay, when's this guy going to turn it on? And I don't know, that has me believing too, the same as you guys, that this is a legit competition. I still think Terrion should come in with like the best odds if we were going to, handicap it. I
think he's the most, he's the most talented
for sure.
Right.
But I also think like there's also at least a little bit of minor concern that he considers himself 75 to 80% healthy this far off of surgery. Like
two surgeries.
Yeah. Is he going to be ready for training camp? Is 5 more weeks enough to get you that up to 95, 100%? I mean, maybe, but
maybe that's part of, Dan saying you have to go earn it. Like get your butt ready for training camp because there is Rockison, who we trust as a veteran guy. There is, Ennis Rakestraw, who is, if he is healthy, he can challenge for it. So maybe it is just him, trying to light that fire.
Yeah.
There's also something to be said for the fact that like he did look good last year in training camp. He looked really good. He looked like an ascending player. And then when the lights, came on, he struggled early and then he found his groove a couple of games, but he's got to learn to lock his stuff up better.
Yeah. Let's move to safety there. Kirby, we still don't really have much on Kirby other than the fact that they're basically putting him on ice until they don't have to put him on, until they basically have to take him off ice. And
the Ben Bartsch treatment.
Yes. But it almost feels even more scary there because they're like, we don't know how long that knee is going to last. So we're just going to put him out there at the very latest moment possible. I wouldn't say we got much clarity on Branch either, other than the fact that Dan Campbell doesn't want us to continue to ask for it. So he'll be like, November earlier, probably. But any chance of like a miraculous week 1 start, I think is pretty much out of the window based on his comments. So, we move down the depth chart and Chuck Clark feels like maybe one of the biggest winners of the spring program, not necessarily because of anything he did on the field during teamwork or anything like that, but coaches are absolutely raving about him. Kelvin Shepard just kept calling him like a man, a leader. And then you get Jim O'Neill, the safeties coach, saying he's an alpha communicator. Like there's only a few guys in this league that can communicate on the level that he does. And we just like the thing that really struck a chord with me is this offseason, since the beginning, Kelvin Shepherd has been like, hey, we need to get rid of the explosive plays. That killed us last year. All the explosive plays through the air, all the like third and longs we gave up. Having a steady presence that knows where he's going to be, that's going to be in the right spot, that's going to get the defense in the right position is integral to this defense. The way the linebackers and the safeties play on the back end are integral to the defense. And so having a trustworthy player that knows what he's doing with 90 games of starting experience like Chuck Clark clearly to me shows that he has value to the team, and he has moved from like bubble player to essentially a lock. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to start, because I thought another interesting comment from, I think it was Shepard, was like, yeah, we'll have to see how he moves out there, because he is 31, because he has gone through some injuries. But I don't know. My opinion on Chuck Clark has changed pretty quickly just based on some of the things the coaching staff has said. And I'm curious as to how you guys feel confidence-wise in him potentially being a guy that steps in there early and provides some stability at the safety position.
Yeah, I think the last comment from Shep is the thing that has resonated with me. Shep's the quote is, when it comes to athletic ability, can he still do certain things? That is still yet to be seen in training camp. That will allow us a 4 to 5 week period to see what he's capable of doing. You can be the smartest person in the room, but if you can't physically do it on the field, you're not going to play, right? And so I certainly have jostled him on my board ahead of Maddox, because you're not hearing those things about Maddox, and Maddox is repping behind Chuck Clark right now. So those are positives, right? Like
Sure.
Those are things I like to hear about Clark. It's certainly more than what I was expecting for a late offseason signing. But yeah, look, you got to do it on the field. And until that happens, I'm going to feel a little bit trepidatious about penciling him into the starting lineup. I still like Izzian and Harper as the youth guys that I think are both starter capable.
Sure.
Getting the Lions over a hump until they can feel comfortable playing Kirby, and maybe waiting until they get Branch back. But if Chuck Clark can step into a starting role and he's still physically there, that's like cherry on top, man. Like that's a huge bonus that I wasn't expecting. And it's one of the reasons why I think Avante may be the odd man out when it comes to roster construction.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you is, do you think like Chuck Clark's durability and athleticism is what could keep Avante Maddox off the roster? And yeah, if that ends up being true, I mean, again, we're talking about Chuck Clark, who, over the past 6 years, he's had 19 passes defended, and he only played 400, less than 500 snaps, last year in Pittsburgh, and, only 700 snaps with the Jets in 2024. So like full-time starter for a season, those three years in Baltimore where he's, very productive for them, Jeremy, especially from a tackling standpoint. We know how much the Lions value, communication and just being a reliable tackler. So those things are really important. And if Clark can do it, then like Eric said, it's the cherry on top. It's what led us last week to talk about how the safety position is one of the positions that we feel almost more comfortable about the depth there than we do at the cornerback position.
Yeah, no doubt. And one interesting comment from Jim O'Neill too, regarding kind of the reps this spring is it was almost exclusively Clark and Izzian, but that was intentional. That was not necessarily a sign of depth chart. That was more of a sign of, hey, let's feed these guys a ton of reps so they learn their defense. The exact quote is, quote, we've kind of soaked all 4 of those guys with reps, especially Izzy and Clark, to try to catch them up to where Harp and Avante are mentally. And it'll be an all-out battle once we get to training camp. And this is another one where I actually do think he's being truthful. I think this will be a big training camp battle. And because, like you said, like you both have said, like there are guys that you're comfortable with starting 4 players deep beyond your 2 injured starters, it's truly going to be a battle. It's truly going to be, I think, not only who are the best players, but like who's the best combo. You need to have 2 safeties that play well together. And so it'll be interesting to see if they mix with those combos a little bit. If it is kind of like Thomas Harper and Avonte Maddox are both out there at all times, so that they get chemistry together, and then it's Izzy and Chuck Clark together, or if they mix those combos up. Obviously they have tendencies to wanting a strong versus a free safety more so than in previous regimes, but like you obviously still need to be able to play both too.
Yeah, the way I view the safety room is in twos, right? You have your two starters and Kirby and Branch. You got your two veterans and Chuck Clark and Maddox. Your two young guys and Izzy and Harper, who are starter capable.
Yep.
And then you got your two developmental guys in Jackson and Strickland, who are primarily special teamers. And now you just got to sort them, right? When you get to safety 4, do you need that special teamer and that young guy? And does that open the door for Dan Jackson? Do you want that extra veteran? And that opens the door for Maddox or Clark. It's going to be very interesting to see how this room washes together, because I agree with you. If Kirby's healthy and ready to start week 1, and Branch won't be, but who's the next best safety? It could be, in my opinion, it might be Izzian or Harper, but both of those guys are actually maybe better free safeties than the hybrid. And so could one of them play that opposite spot, or is a guy like a veteran like Maddox or Clark the preferred option? I do think Harper and Izzian have that range, right? Sure. But will they get? I expect them to get cross-trained, but will they? I don't know, because it may. I don't think they're ever going to get to a spot where they're going to say, Izzian's our number 2 corner behind Kirby right now, but we're not going to play him because we haven't trained him. Like, they're not going to put themselves in that spot.
Right.
So I do expect mix-ups. I do expect cross-trains. And, in their split safety scheme, they want these guys to be able to play both sides anyways. So I think this will be a fun battle to watch and see how the combos shake out.
After having these discussions the past couple of weeks, I think I've come to the realization that the preseason is going to be much more interesting than it was a year ago.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, tie that to the fact also there's no scrimmages. You know what I mean? There's no joint practices. So I think that just puts that much more onus on the preseason, but it's also very intriguing in the sense of, are you going to see Rock Ya-Sin play snaps in the preseason? Probably not. Are you going to see Chuck Clark take snaps in the preseason? I don't know. He's a veteran guy. Like, they want to keep him healthy. Right. I find that very intriguing, because most years, right, we see a guy not playing the preseason. We see him on the sideline. And we're like, oh, okay, you know what? They're safe. Don't got to worry about that guy. But I don't know. What if Lawrence Strickland goes out and plays really well? What if Thomas Harper goes out and plays really well? Like, every now
and then we see that where, like, they sit a veteran not because they're a lock, but because they already know who they are, right? Yeah, then they give those reps to younger players, and if the younger players, it's kind of like that hostage situation thing that Dan was talking about, where it's like, you have this veteran, you know who he is, but if you have this other guy that's developing quicker, he might not be better than him right now, but in 2, 3, 4 weeks, when you give him the full reps, he might be better. That's a situation we could absolutely see play out in the safety position.
When it comes to the preseason, I think if you haven't made a Pro Bowl on this roster, you're going to play.
It's probably true, right? Like, I don't.
Yep.
This is probably a conversation once we get closer to, like.
Yeah. And injuries will happen, and you're going to want that. Well, he made a Pro Bowl.
He's definitely made a Pro Bowl
with this team. Like,
new offensive coordinator. Do you want to get him out there?
Yeah, I mean, you might play him a series or two, just this, and then you pull him in Panay and
I was going to say, don't put him
good job,
without
fellas.
Panay.
Yeah. But it's the names: Gibbs, St. Brown, Jack Campbell. Like, let those guys get their feet wet, and then done. Everyone else, veteran or not, play them.
No doubt.
That includes Peyton Turner and Ben Barch. Show me you can stay. You won't get injured.
Fair. All right, that'll do it for this week's show. But before we go, I do want to give some more shout outs to our reviews, which are continuing to come in. We're at 962, 38 away from 1,000 reviews on Apple Podcasts. We are well over that, I think, on Spotify. So keep them coming in. And as always, make sure you're subscribe to our YouTube channel where there's a bunch of native content. There's a bunch of in-between segments content if you're listening on the podcast feeds. We talk about a whole bunch of stuff in between segments that you can catch over on our YouTube channel. Ryan, you want to read off 4 more of these reviews before we get out of here?
Yeah, we can do that. We have some reading to do, though.
They're all very long reviews, which is very much appreciated. Taking time to actually provide good, reasonable, and very kind feedback.
Absolutely. We'll start with Righteous Lions Fan 2026, titled Best Lions Content. Lifelong Lions fan here. I don't have as much time as I used to and need content that keeps me entertained and informed without fake insider information or clickbait nonsense. These guys are fun, honest about what they know and what they don't, and share and summarize the best Lions coverage on their site and podcast. Unlike a lot of Lions content, this isn't just feelings ball and conjecture. They do a great job sharing perspectives along with data and insight from great sources. I only consume POD and DetroitLions.com coverage now because everyone else wastes my time and or money. So if you want the best Lions content and great deals on beef jerky, subscribe and let these professionals entertain and inform you on your commute. And don't forget to check out the site for great info too. Wow, I promise that is not an industry plant.
I was going to say, let's
greatly appreciate that review.
If Pride of Detroit was a book, that would be on the sleeve. Like, we would just put that on the sleeve as like, Righteous Lions Fan 2026 says.
Yeah. Well done. Thank you.
A lot of subtle shots at our competition too, which, hey, I don't know who they're talking about. I'm not going to conjecture.
I do.
I think I may too, but I'm not going to say them out loud.
That's what Eric's here for. The ad libs.
Our next review comes from Twig76. 5-star review says, good blend of technical knowledge and fan perspective. The review reads, POD, with all of its content, has been able to provide us as fans with a great blend of in-depth technical insider knowledge, while at the same time keeping the show light and fun. The staff demonstrates how hard it works behind the scenes to give the listeners content that keeps us engaged and coming back for more. They understand and address the fan perspective while not falling into the gotcha clickbait trap other outlets use to get people riled up. Highly recommend at all times of the year. Thank you, Twig. All right, which one you want, Ryan?
I was wondering if Eric was going to read one of these because he's not usually on.
It's true.
I want to give him the opportunity to read one of these reviews. Oftentimes they mention you by name, Eric.
Oh,
these ones don't, but
these ones don't.
That's kind. Way to sell the story. Yeah, listen, they compliment you a lot. Not right now, but
it's not the ones you're seeing right now, but they do.
What's is that Rev Kenya? Is that how I pronounce it?
Kevina? Or no, you're right. Kenna.
Kenna?
Yeah.
POD crew gives thoughtfully analysis of all things happening with the Lions. The crew on the beat are not just another show. Another show is Bros. It's just not. Whoa. Let me slow down for a second. Because the Revs made a very nice write-up here, and I just butchered that. So I apologize. The crew on the beat are not just another show is Bros with opinions. They also each bring unique takes that will help you understand what is happening and broaden your horizons on why. If you are a Lions fan, this podcast is really worth your time in season and out of season. Great show! Exclamation point.
Nice. Thank you, Rev.
Yeah, and then we have Alex in. Is it Jeremy? I want to make sure the pronunciation is correct. You are the Californian, so Alex in Humboldt. Humboldt.
I didn't even realize that was Californian.
You've been gone for so long.
Yeah.
The only connection you have is California Pizza Kitchen. Best Lions Pod is the title. I think I've been listening to these guys for like 10 years now, which is factual. Yeah. Have they been going that long? ? I don't know, but if they have, that's how long I've been listening. They used to talk about wrestling, and I wasn't too sure about them, but they grew on me, and they've gotten a lot better about that now. Seriously, though, love the show. It's my go-to for all my Lions news and helps me feel connected to the team and the fans, even way out here in California. Keep up the good work, guys. Thank you. Well, thank you, Alex in Humboldt.
Appreciate y'all. And yeah, if you guys feel the need, feel the desire to express your whatever about the show, preferably a 5-star review, but go over to Apple Podcasts, give us a review. We'll read every single one we get from here to 1,000 and probably beyond that as well. If you don't listen to us on Apple Podcasts, that's cool too. You can leave comments on our Spotify episodes. And you know what? If we start getting some really nice comments on individual episodes on Spotify, maybe we start reading those as well. And as always, you can also follow us on YouTube and Twitch. Eric, I'm going to put you on the spot here before we go. You up for a midweek mailbag this week?
Yeah, hold on. I'm looking at the reviews to see if I can find my name. Yeah, no, I think we can make one happen. I have something going on Thursday, so we'll have to try and maybe knock it out like a Wednesday or a Friday.
Perfect. All right. So keep your eyes on that, either on YouTube, Twitch, or on your podcasting platform. I think that's all I got for now. We'll continue to put out these episodes throughout the entire off season here. Throughout the next 6 weeks, we'll take you all the way to training camp. So no hiatus over here. You might hear different voices, see different faces here and there as we'll take some respective breaks here, but the podcast will continue. So make sure you're locked in. Make sure you're getting notifications, subscribe to wherever you want to subscribe. And until next time, for Ryan, for Eric, for Miko, thanks for letting me take the host seat for a week. It's chaos. Be kind.
Recording stopped.
All right. We made
We'll
it through.
catch you in the next one.
Should I have gone with his? Nah, I think
No.
He's not here. You got to stay on brand.
It's true. A couple more alerts here, and then we'll hang out for a little bit. And probably, oh God, it's already 8:30. Maybe we won't hang out for that much.
I was going to say, I think I might want to get dinner. Eric talked about barbecue for too long.
It's true. I don't know if I gave Yvitz a shout out, but thank you for the 55 months. Knoxville Lions fans, 46 months, says it's my Jack Campbell anniversary. Honestly, I can't think of another Lion who wore 46. I usually like to go a little more obscure.
Ooh,
46.
that's a tough one.
That is a tough one. I feel like there's probably like some practice squad safety that wore 46.
No, there was one other like old linebacker. Gosh, I'm gonna look it up
What
now.
number?
46.
While you look that up, I have another very
Now I'm
important
gonna go
subscription to
look
talk
one.
about. Cajun Miko, 54 months. Says it's my Chris Spielman, DeAndre Levy, Lee McNeil anniversary, and we closed on our new house.
Hey.
Oh, it's that Miko.
It's that Miko. It's the Miko we know. Closed out on his house. He said, I'll be celebrating by devouring a watermelon and lime Dole Whip. Look it up if you're not up on the game.
I already saw you driving down to Florida in your space car. It's cool. Just like get to eat and watch the car do all the work. But congratulations, man. Getting a house. You know, it's funny. Like I saw somebody talk about like what you should do with your medical debt. And again, Pride of Detroit is not a show that provides legal advice or financial advice. But somebody was saying like, I'm not going to pay back my medical debt. What? It's going to hurt my credit score? Oh, so I can't buy a house? I wasn't planning on getting a house anytime in my lifetime. What? Next thing you're going to tell me is, oh, you can't buy a rocket ship. Okay, yeah, I wasn't planning on buying one of those either. So buying a house is a huge deal. So congratulations to Miko.
And this is what specifically Miko is talking about, in case anyone's wondering what a watermelon lime Dole Whip looks like.
I thought you were pulling up a picture of his house at first.
Yeah,
I was like,
this is
hold
his
on.
address.
This is where he lives.
This is his address. This is his front door. He also has a back door that you can get in. He leaves it unlocked.
Yeah, and he's in Florida for a week.
Here's his kitchen where he will be making his own watermelon lime Dole Whip. That looks yummy.
Number 46 was Craig Reynolds. That's where I was remembering the number. And before him, Nick Bowden. That was the one that was trying to come up with.
I'm surprised you couldn't pull Craig Reynolds' name.
I should it would have full circled if I wasn't on if I wasn't on all my meds, you know.
I was gonna say, I think what was unfair about this podcast is that we had like Barry Bonds on the show. Like his performance was enhanced.
Yeah.
He was roided up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got this guy roided out of
trust me.
his.
I wish I had more. I wish I had more. I could have done better.
That's what they always say.
I'm glad that you were able to take my Tarion joke in stride. I noticed
second.
I couldn't keep it together. I'm glad, Jeremy.
It was really
Jeremy was a
Ryan who
professional.
like I was ready to move on, and then Ryan's laughing. I'm like, what is he? And then I'm like replaying what he just said in my head. I'm like, oh, keep him.
It wouldn't be it wouldn't, every time we do this little trio, I feel like we got to say something ridiculously obscure and off the left wall, like that just throws you off. That's just part of the charm, man.
Maybe one time over the next 5 weeks here before we get back to camp. Maybe we jump on a Twitter space.
No.
Just once.
Would it even work?
No.
Who knows?
You tried to open a Twitter GIF of a dog and it didn't even work.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true.
It's fair.
yeah, Twitter's chopped.
All right, I am caught up on alerts. I think maybe it's just time to go. Let you guys get some food or medicine.
No,
Just
I don't.
Chug some NyQuil.
For me at least, like the antibiotics, it's crazy how much antibiotics help with strep throat. Like
Sure.
by 4 o'clock today, just like staying hydrated, I have like all my appetite back and I'm ready to eat like the worst thing that I possibly could. Because for like the past like 2 days, I've been trying to like eat things that are cold and liquid.
Dude, I've drank so much water, just trying to shovel as much cold liquid into my throat as
You went,
possible.
what, 4 days without eating anything?
Yeah,
That's, oh man.
yeah. Not
How
yesterday,
hungry?
but
How hungry once you had your appetite?
the crazy thing is I came home from the hospital and was still not hungry, and I forced myself to eat. I made a grilled cheese. Or Laura made me grilled cheese. Let me rephrase that. I was not in good shape there. Yeah, Laura made me a
Credit
grilled
where
cheese.
credit's due.
Yes. Sorry. So I ate a grilled cheese that Laura made, and because I was like, I have to start my antibiotic regimen, and I'm like, I don't want an empty stomach, and I still didn't want anything else the rest of the night. Woke up next morning, nothing. Then I took my steroids at lunchtime, and woo-wee, I was like, give me all the food.
You immediately needed to start bulking.
Well, yeah. And then, I was ready to go out and find my bench.
So you gave Laura her credit for making the grilled cheese sandwich, but now I'm gonna try to get you in trouble. Who makes a better grilled cheese sandwich?
Oh, Laura makes better. Laura's better cook than I am. Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. I don't know. I've seen you put together some impressive meals.
Well, we'll poke the bear even further. Who makes a better steak?
I do. Okay. I can man the grill. I got new flavor burners and or new flavor bars and like grates for my grill. Basically, like redid the interior. That was my Father's Day gift. I got
I don't
Laura
even know
bought
what
me a whole
those
bunch of
words
stuff.
mean.
So inside of a grill, you have like your burners, and then you have like these like what are called like flavor distributors. They distribute the heat, and then when the juice from the meat drips onto it, it causes it to go back up. It gives it kind of like a smokier flavor.
Yeah.
And my interior part of the grill was getting old, and I didn't want to buy a new one, so I took the whole thing apart and scrubbed it down, and like wire brushed it and all that jazz. And then Laura bought me new guts for the grill, and it's awesome. It's like brand new. It's like a brand new grill.
Quintessential Father's Day gift.
No, yeah,
Right?
it's perfect.
I love that.
And
We'll be
I
over
got
Saturday.
this. Can you see that?
Hashtag dad life.
Yes. I got hashtag dad life from one of my kids.
Is that
And
a
then,
little like mini
it's just
whiteboard
a
thingy?
little it's just a little plaque thingy.
Okay. Yeah.
And then this one's great. This one, according to my youngest daughter, who got me a phone memory bank, okay, that says, "No, I did."
Hold on. Hold on. Keep it up because people can't see it in the video. There you go.
Yeah.
No.
No, I did. She she thought it was. She read it in my voice. She's like, "Yeah, you're saying no, I did."
I am captain now.
Yeah. So I got a little memory bank for my and little cool thing for my back wall there, and yeah, the grill's in good shape now, looking good.
Sweet. I'll bring over some steaks.
Hey, it'll be better than that meal that I cooked for you last time. So last time you were over.
What do you mean? There's nothing
Well,
wrong with that, man.
it was that was the old stuff. Like it was all like I had like the wrought iron was starting to like have holes in it.
Just dealing with an old grill.
Yeah, just now I'm in good shape. I'm definitely was a great gift.
Nice.
Great gift.
All right. What a wholesome way to end the show.
Absolutely.
Some positivity. I'm guessing we'll probably record Wednesday, midweek mailbag. Because that probably works better for me too. So we'll do that. So we'll be live again Wednesday-ish. Send in your questions via Twitter or via PODD subscriber. If you're a PODD subscriber, just send one to an email. That's all I got. Anything else before we can get out of here, fellas?
Well, we did drop the Blake Miller episode
We sure did.
on First Bite. So maybe a temporary hiatus for First Bite, but something brewing
Yeah.
shortly here.
For sure. Part of it is I am hell-bent on doing a Cade Mays First Bite.
Yeah. Like now it's just like out of principle. It's not even really like getting more information about Cade Mays because he's here and we'll find out about him shortly.
And I almost, you know what? Like, I kind of want to get a reef for Wanham too.
Ooh.
Okay.
Hey, two for one. Same team, man.
All right.
Oh.
Bore him too. Yeah. All right. Anyways, be on the lookout for that. And as always, we'll have more content pumping through the website as well. I plan on doing a 53-man roster relatively soon, probably this week. Yeah, stuff like that. Plenty of content to come, even as the Lions are on hiatus here. So follow us on all the socials, on all the whatever. So you guys know where to find us, and we'll see you live here again Wednesday at some time. Check socials for time. That's all I got.